Yes, people, welcome to another edition of From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio, brought to you by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note, and I'm joined with my fellow co-host, my light Stro, aka Blood Stro, aka Mr. I've seen more in the night than you've seen in your life. What are you telling me, Stro? You good?
Good, man, you.
Yeah, I'm good. In a new setup. As you can see, people, new setup. Big up Big Soul in the building.
Yeah, put a mortgage
in the
down
building.
in the new house. Here we are. Here we are.
But yeah, we got a lot to discuss. I don't even think 2 hours is enough. We have a lot to discuss. It would have been a lot to discuss if the final didn't go to penalties and you had all the extra things that happened outside of the game, or the stuff in the stadium, or the stuff with the fans, etc., and all types of wild things. But yeah, this is From a Third Eye View, Pi Radio, people. Please make sure if you're watching on the YouTube, you hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel. Big up to everyone who's listening via more traditional radio means as well. Large up everyone who's locked in. You know what I'm saying? But Stro, obviously, Euro 2020 final. England lose on penalties at Wembley. Like, is there a more... What's the word I'm looking for? Is there a more English way to lose a major competition?
No.
Than on penalties at Wembley?
No, absolutely not. Right, so...
Go on, give us your thoughts. Go on.
I'm going to start off with the positives from yesterday, right? And then I'm going to go onto the negatives. So, positive for me was, as much as I give him stick, Southgate's got a lot of praise throughout, and rightfully so, because his is always about results.
Yeah.
A manager is judged on his results, right? Mm-hmm. So, he's got the results. He's got us to a final, the first European final ever in England's history.
True that.
First final since 1966. Broke records along the way in the Euros in terms of not conceded a goal for the first open. I think it was for the first 6 games, which has never been done before. So when you see them stats next to each other, they speak volumes.
Okay.
However, in that, he's still got a lot of stuff wrong. His man management's been poor.
Facts.
His substitutions have been poor.
Facts.
However, he's still managed to navigate his way through it, and he's done phenomenally well. I mean, when was the last? We've never seen England beat Germany in.
True, he got that right. Give him his credit. He got that right. I will give him his credit. And then
going into the final, right? All week in my head, I've been thinking, how can we nullify their strengths? Their strength is their midfield. How do we get that right?
Yep.
How do we set up to nullify them? Because they're a threat on the counter attack. What can we do?
Yeah.
First half, you got it spot on. Tactically, it's one of the best things I've seen Southgate do as a manager, because when you look, Walker was pressing high.
Yeah.
Shaw was high. Trippier was high. And then what was happening was you'd have your midfield two, which was obviously Declan Rice and Phillips. I'm going to come on to Rice in a minute because I think he deserves a lot of praise for his performance yesterday.
We're going to get into that.
What was happening was when one of them would go to Jorginho, John Stones would then step into the midfield. So there was always a 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Just little things like that made a big difference. And look where the goal came from.
Great goal, by the way.
Yeah, because this is the point, was if you look at Italy's weakness and you look at Spain's goal, for example, Morata dropped deep and he was saying to Bonucci and Chiellini, well, come on then, come out with me and see what happens, or you stay there and you're going to get left exposed. And Kane did the exact same thing. Come deep, unbelievable switch of play.
Yeah. The ball into Trippier, because I was watching it and I'm like, the transition, it didn't even look like a swift counter attack, but that ball to Trippier was A1.
So before we carry on, one thing I want to do is not overlook Luke Shaw's part in it before the goal. Exceptional down the line. Exceptional piece of work. Then obviously it goes into Kane. Walker, give him his credit. The underlapping run was unbelievable. I thought it was Sterling at first. Like, because you just don't expect Walker to be in that position.
Yep.
And then I'm screaming at Trippier, like, play it down the line.
Nah, I was saying cross, but I'll get to that. Go on.
Because I was thinking, you just didn't see Shaw at the back post at that point. But one thing which was unbelievable was, I don't know if anyone picked up on it, Harry Kane's movement. Harry Kane makes a short run straight, right?
Yeah.
But he draws 2 defenders with him. One of the defenders was Luke Shaw's defender. Luke Shaw's free. Yeah. And let me tell you this, that finish, especially for a left back in a European final, is difficult. And he hit it so well.
Yep.
You couldn't have hit it any better.
Facts.
And it was that well, you're thinking, has it gone in? Has it not? And then when you just see the net bulge, it's like, wow, this is not like England. And then in the first half, we were aggressive. We were on top. We were winning balls back. Italy struggled because we tactically got it spot on.
Yeah.
In the first half, Declan Rice, game of his life.
He played very well. I was shocked that he played well. Out of him and Calvin Phillips, he was definitely the better performer, 100%.
Because it was like, you just didn't expect it. And then this is what happens, though, when you've got a squad and you're competing. When you know you've got Jordan Henderson, who can take your place at any minute. You've got to put in a different level of performances. And Declan Rice has received criticism, and rightfully so, because at times he has been the worst out of the two. Yeah, I think even with his performance yesterday, I still think Calvin Phillips comes out of this a star in terms of what he's done over the Euros.
He's definitely not put himself in the shop window because he's not trying to get a move from Leeds, but he's made people. We're now more aware of him. Yes, we're now more aware of him and going to be watching him closely. I thought he's been decent throughout the tournament, like the majority of the England squad. I think all the starters. I don't think anybody in particular has been great. But I think Phillips has been decent. I didn't think he was good in the final.
No, he wasn't good, and that was his worst game. But when you look at his stats, is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Distance covered by a mile.
Was he top?
Passing stats.
Okay.
By a mile. Yeah. His retention stats. For a midfielder playing against the likes of Germany, he's never played in games like that before for Leeds. Yeah. The likes of Germany, European semi-finals, European Cup finals against Italy, his ball stats are outrageous.
Yeah.
And it's genuinely, and I said this from a third eye view 18 months ago, he is the one.
You've been calling him.
I said he'd be a start for England even when he was in the Championship, and you and JV looked at me like,
it was wild because I'd never heard of him at that point.
I was like, trust me, this kid's special, because I remember watching him ping a ball. He was playing centre back at Reading at home because I went to the Leeds game, and it was just effortless, and I was like, wow. And so, yeah, Phillips was quiet out the two. Declan Rice deserves a lot of praise. Now, second half is where it fell apart.
Well, I'm going to let you land and then I'm going to give my thoughts.
Southgate. So negative.
Yeah.
Mancini got it spot on in terms of his substitutions. His substitutions changed the complexity of that game, changed the rhythm, changed the flow of it, and they started to gather momentum. Right. Here's my problem. Southgate tries to shut up shop. You can't do that with Mason Mount on the pitch. If you're going to shut up shop, you have to then bring Henderson on for Mason Mount, and you go as a flat three. You leave Sterling and Kane up top. It's the only way you can do it in that formation.
You're saying if you're going to shut up shop properly.
Yeah, don't do it halfway. Like
don't do half-hearted.
Yeah, you've got to fully commit to it. And this was the problem Southgate had yesterday. Was he was caught in two minds on too many big occasions and too many big decisions. The penalties at the end, which I'm going to get to, is a prime example of that. His substitutions of Sancho and Rashford is a prime example of that. His substitutions in the game are a prime example of that. And this is one of his biggest deficiencies. Yes, unbelievable job to get to where you got to. I've never seen, and it's unfortunate that I'm saying this given what's happened since, but a nation behind England like it did leading up to that final and what it meant to people. And then obviously you see that, which we're going to come on to later. Don't worry.
Of course, we never shy away from racism. Me and Stroll spoke on it in depth on this show alongside JV at times whenever it's happened to whatever player at whatever club. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if it's a Manchester United player, a Liverpool player, a Manchester City player, an Arsenal player, a Leeds player, Newcastle, doesn't matter. It could be a player in Division 1. I mean, in League 1. It can be a player in the Conference North League. Like, that's what I would say about that. But yeah, go on, carry on, family.
Yeah, so the second half was just so negative, and this was the problem, right? And I said this, and I called it in terms of the Scotland game, the Croatia game. Yeah. When we had Bizza one last week, I said it about the Germany game. Yeah. Was we have been guilty in the second half of letting games drift.
Yes.
Now against better opposition, we get punished.
Yes.
I was calling for Mason Mount to come off the pitch at halftime.
I think we all were. Everybody was united on that one because he was not good. He was the poorest player on the pitch. Yeah, because
don't get me wrong, he's a great talent on his day. Yesterday wasn't his day.
No.
Right? So as a manager, you've got to be aware of that, and you've got to make a decision, because this isn't about stroking egos. This is about results. Yeah. You've always preached that tournament is a results game. At 1-0, we are in an unbelievable position, right? You leave Mason Mount on the pitch. Their goal. Yeah? Their goal. Where does that come from? Set piece. Who is caught ball watching at the back post, which lets the header get in, which Pickford's had to save? Who is it? Who? It's Mason Mount. He's switched off at the back post. He's ball watching. He's not even seen his man on his shoulder. And that's down to Mason Mount, and that's down to Gareth Southgate. That goal is solely on them two. Because if you watch, Mason Mount's watching the ball. He's not even seeing the man behind him. And the nicking, it's a great save by Pickford. And at this point, Bonucci's just reacted like a clinical striker. Where you need to be, right place, right time, puts the ball into the back of the net, and it's 1-1, and it's game on. And at that point, the whole momentum shifted to Italy because they got the substitution spot on. At that point, I want Southgate to be clinical. You need to be the leader. But you need to be the leader at that point. You have to be the man, and you have to stand up and be counted. That is a critical point because there's still 25 minutes left. We've seen what we can do in terms of our attacking transitions and how we can cut Italy apart when we pressed them high and we were aggressive. And we took our foot off the gas in the second half. Done it against Croatia. Done it against Germany. Done it against Scotland.
Yeah.
Make the substitution then. Bring Grealish on at that point. Bring Henderson on for Rice at that point. Or Phillips. Any of them two.
Yeah.
Rashford. Why is Rashford and Sancho coming on with 2 minutes to go? And why are you then putting Rashford at right back?
That's because that's Southgate for you. What did I say from the jump when I was asked can England win this tournament? What did I say from the very start before a ball was kicked? England's team is good enough to win this tournament. It wasn't a question of the team or the squad because the bench is incredible. Like England brought
one of the strongest benches I've seen.
England brought Grealish, Rashford, Sancho, Saka. Yeah, Grealish, Sancho, Rashford, Saka off the bench. What team in this competition is bringing 4 players of that quality off the bench? France. And never mind, maybe France. You could argue France. That's what I'm saying. So you're saying one of the other.
One.
Like there's one over. And bear in mind as well, Greenwood wasn't there. Foden, you can add into that as well. Ings didn't go. Foden's not in I don't think he was in the squad. He had a knock actually.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Calvert-Lewin. It was like, look at the players we're naming. And this falls on Southgate. The issue that we have is that Southgate is not, what's it called? Yeah, big up everyone in the chat as well.
Yeah, salute, man. But this is my problem, is he's the reason why the games have been drifting. At that point,
because he's not good. He's not, sorry to cut you off there. Yeah, because he's not good enough. Back to my point of what I was saying as well. The reason why England can't win this tournament is because of the manager. I said when it comes to crunch moments, this manager is going to get more decisions wrong than he gets right. And we've seen it in that 120 minutes and penalties. Not only did he get decisions wrong in the 90 minutes and in the extra time, he also got decisions wrong on the penalties as well because he's a pragmatic manager. I've seen this happen. This is the Europa League. Replace England with Manchester United and replace Italy with Villarreal. It's the same exact thing. I've watched this happen. Letting games drift. The amount of times you're chasing the game and you're still playing 2 DMs. Why are you so conservative? Because you're scared to lose. And you're better going forward than you are defensively. So attack. England could have won that game. All he had to do was be brave. Because Italy offered nothing. For people saying Italy offered nothing going forward. There was a goal and the Chiesa save. The save from Chiesa. That was all Italy offered.
The game was in England's hands. And this is why I'm so frustrated 100%. Because I called this weeks ago. Our biggest problem is, and it's a recurring pattern from the group stages, and it was alarming against Germany because a better Germany side, we got punished. So a better Germany side, we get punished in that. Exactly the same thing in terms of, if that's France, yeah, France went out on penalties, but if that's France, they punish us in that game. Spain would have punished us. Italy punished us because we let the game drift, and it cost us in the end. And this is my big go away in terms of yesterday, was what that shown was Southgate's deficiencies as a manager and his issues as a manager. His in-game management at times is poor. His decision making at times is poor, and it's just frustrating because when are you ever going to see that again? Realistically, Like, when are you ever going to see England in a big final like that again?
Against that opposition? You're not playing top quality opposition. This is your best chance.
Italy were there for the taking.
I've said this. Italy were there for the taking. Both teams in the final had favorable draws the whole way throughout the tournament. And that's not a shot at Italy, and that's not a shot at England.
You've got to beat what's in front of you.
Yeah, you have to beat what's in front of you. And they both took full advantage to get to the final. England should have won that game. And again, because of Gareth Southgate. So when people were telling me, oh, why don't you think it's coming home? It's simply because the manager's not good enough. And I knew he'd get more wrong than he gets right. Hear me? First half, I agree. Spot on. But again, even in the first half, once you've scored the goal for the second, goal for the third. Italy on the ropes at that point. You know what I'm saying? If it's a boxing match, you've already knocked them down.
Completely on the ropes,
add more pressure because Italy offered nothing for 120 minutes. Italy offered nothing. Like I said, there was the goal they scored, which was very scrappy. The Chiesa shot, which is a very good save from Pickford. And I'm going to get on to Pickford because he was good in the tournament. That was it. That was literally it for 120 minutes. But who told me yesterday? I think it was Peter when we was doing Peter was doing the Sarcasm City TV. He was doing the Q&A. I was thinking, no, actually, it was Winter Surfer. And he said, all of England had, I think, 4 shots on target, and all of them were from defensive players. Yeah. One was Maguire, one was Shaw, I think one was Phillips, and I'm not sure about the other one. And why are you giving up 70% of possession when you have all that attacking talent? Look at all the attacking. You've got Mount, you have Kane, you have Sterling, you got Saka, you got Grealish, you got Foden, you got Rashford, you got Sancho. All this attacking talent, add in Trippier as an attacking fullback, add in Shaw as an attacking fullback, add in Chilwell as an attacking fullback, Kyle Walker, Reece James. But yet you play this pragmatic style of football. This pragmatic style because you are scared to lose. And that's ultimately your downfall.
I know there's going to be some people that are like, oh, but that pragmatic style got us to the final. Yes. However, the game was there to be won in that first half.
100% was there to be won. 100%.
And we didn't. And then even in the second half, historically during this competition, we've let our foot off the gas in the second half and we've let games drift. Yep. We can't afford to do that in a cup final. Nope. Can't do that. You have to. It's pedal to the metal, and we've got to go. Yep. You literally have to put everything into that. First 10 minutes, you don't concede a goal. Is every manager across the country, whether you're an amateur manager, whether you're a semi-professional, a professional, a League 2 manager, a Premier League manager, it's the first thing everyone says when you 1-0 up. You do not give anything away soft. Nope. Do not concede in the first 15 minutes. You keep it tight.
Thanks.
But there's keeping it tight, and then there's just sitting back and just soaking up pressure. Yep. You don't have the facilities to do that with this team. Because you've got, with the greatest respect, Mason Mount didn't have a great game yesterday, right? And this isn't me scapegoating him because, like I said, I do think he's a phenomenal talent. However, you cannot soak up pressure and sit deep with Mason Mount. You have to have a Jordan Henderson in there because he's able to do that, and his experience alone would carry you through. And then it should bring Trippier off, and also didn't make any sense to me. I understood why he did it in terms of changing the formation. However, if we're going for it, Trippier is the best attacking option you've got in terms of delivery. So I don't know why you'd take him off. Why you then at that point kept 2 defensive midfielders is absolutely beyond me. It's and then the penalties, which is, I don't even know what to say at this point because you get second half of extra time. England started to really crank up the pressure, and Italy were once again against the ropes, right? However, you've got an opportunity to kill the game at this point. You've got Sancho and you've got Rashford to bring on. Be smart with your substitutions. Don't just throw them on for the sake of throwing them on. Be smart. Does the formation you're putting them in, does it make sense? Where you're putting them, does it make sense in terms of an attacking and defensive point of view? Because you could still lose the game. You've seen Italy. As soon as they seen Rashford was going right back, they're like, what? All right, everything's coming down that left-hand side for the next 2-3 minutes. Why are you giving them 2 or 3 minutes? No, like if you're bringing them on, you're not Louis van Gaal with the Tim Krul substitution. You're not going to get loaded for this. Or lauded for it, shall I say. It was a shocking decision. You've given them, man, no time to warm up properly. to get into the game, to have a feel for the ball. You've literally chucked him in the Sharks tank and gone, go on, score a penalty.
Facts.
It's poor management.
This is Southgate for you, though.
And then to make it even worse, I don't know if you know this, right, but England have been working with a guy who was involved in rugby, right? And he's been working with England in terms of the penalties and the mentality stuff and how they're hitting the penalties and stuff like that, right? So there's a video that's gone around this morning, and it's Gareth Southgate with the list of the players, right? With the list of the players, and basically looking at who's going where. So obviously we've seen it. Kane first, unbelievable penalty. It is such a good penalty at such a big moment. And then this was another thing which I'm not even touched upon. We won the toss. So it was in front of the England fans. Everything that you could want going for you in terms of a penalty shootout, it was going for us. Italy lose the toss. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they score the first one and miss the second one? Italy's penalty. I can't remember exactly how it went, but so Harry Kane scores. I think they score the first one. Belotti misses the second one. We're in a good position. Harry Maguire's penalty. Oh my Lord. I don't think you'll ever see a penalty in a penalty shootout in a big European Cup final better than that. I honestly don't. Because even United fans will admit this. When you're sat there and you see Harry Maguire step up number 2 in a penalty shootout, you're thinking, what on earth is going on here? And then you see the penalty. Oh, Lord. It's Harry Maguire.
Okay. Yeah. What a top quality penalty that was.
This is what I'm saying. I don't think you'll ever see a better penalty in a European Cup final than that.
No, quite top quality. Top.
So then Rashford steps up. Now, I understand how he's missed it because you see the size of Donnarumma. And Donnaruma's not moved. He's not giving many signals of where he's going. So Rashford's thinking, if he's going my way, I've got to put it right in the corner because of his size. But problem is he's overcompensated with it. And that was the issue. So he's had to drag it wide, which is unfortunate.
Here's the thing is, though. I get what you're saying because Donnarumma is a quality goalkeeper and he is a large goalkeeper. But give yourself the best opportunity to score the penalty. As soon as he did that run-up, I knew he was going to miss.
Oh, yeah.
Like as soon as he did that, all this stuttering and all this type of stuff, run up, and it sounds very stupid and very easy to say, but just run up and lang it. Just welly it.
Yeah, it's like
just run up and absolutely welly it.
Look at what Maguire did. Maguire did the exact same thing. So then, obviously, Rashford misses that one, which is unfortunate. Then, obviously, you don't know who's taking England's next penalty. I'll tell you what, Pickford was so close with a lot of them. He was going the right way for a lot of them. He was inches for a few of them. Some of the saves he pulled off in that game were just unbelievable. Then, obviously, you hear the commentators turn around and say, well, he's not had a lot of football. At that point, you know it's Sancho. Right? It's not a great penalty.
What's it? For people in the comments talking about we need mods on the channel, I can't mod you because I do not have the login for the Pi Radio, so we're just going to have to deal with it for the time being.
Yeah.
And we'll get it sorted after the show. There's nothing I can do currently. I will talk to the hierarchy because I'm not logged in on Pi Radio. I'll try and sort it out. Go on, family.
Yeah, so obviously at this point you realise that it's Sancho that's stepping up, right? And it's a poor penalty by his standards. It really, really is, because you know that at this point you can clearly see it's a great height for Donnarumma. It's an easy save for a goalkeeper. It's one you expect him to make. It's not a great penalty, right? Then at this point it's Jorginho. He scores, it's over.
Yes.
I don't think, apart from Istanbul, Xavi Alonso, where he puts it in to make it 3-3, there's only a few moments I've had in my life where I've celebrated anything like that. And it's, of all people, Jordan Pickford. Everyone that watches this, everyone that's watched me over YouTube football content, know I am not his biggest fan.
You are definitely not his biggest fan.
However, he was incredible in that shootout. Yeah. And that save that he pulled off was outstanding. And I've never, there's only a few times that I've reacted like that for a goal. And that was one of them. I went absolutely crazy. And then you're thinking, we scored, his momentum's back with us. And this is ours. And then you see Saka step up. And you're like, how have you allowed a 19-year-old in a big European Cup final, arguably one of the most historic penalties and most important penalties in England's history, and you let a 19-year-old step up and take it. Where's Raheem Sterling at this point? Because I've seen what Roy Keane said after the game in terms of, if you're Sterling and Grealish, you can't let a 19-year-old step up in front of you. And he's 100% correct. But what you then see response to that was Jack Grealish. Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's basically Grealish has come out and said, look, I said I wanted to take the penalty. The manager's made some great decisions and right decisions, and he did so again that night. And I thought it was a real honourable thing of how he worded it. I think Grealish has come out of this a star. I really do, because you see what he did after the game, which I'm going to touch upon in a minute. But as a management, the fact that you've let Saka take that penalty is poor. It's awful. You've got experienced penalty takers. Because here's the way to look at it, right? Saka's an Arsenal player. Aubameyang's predominantly their penalty taker, right? If Aubameyang's not available to take the penalty, who's taking the next penalty for Arsenal? It's not Saka, it's Lacazette. If Lacazette's not available, who's taking it? It's not Saka. Saka's 5th or 6th in the pecking order, if that. He doesn't regularly take penalties for his club. Why? Why is he 5th taking a penalty? I've seen Sterling take penalties for City. I've seen Calvin Phillips take penalties for City. I mean, for Leeds. It just doesn't make any sense. And the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, it's an awful decision from the management. And then you see the video that's gone around today in terms of Gareth Southgate with a list and who he's going to. And he's going to the guy who they brought in for the rugby stuff. And he's basically saying, are you sure about Saka? Are you sure he's the one? It is poor. It's honestly.
It is poor. It is 100%. Surely now, as well, people, sorry to cut you off there, Stroke. The reason why I'm running around, a couple of you lot should be moderators now on the chat. So yeah, large up everyone who is locked in, big up everyone that's crossed over from Saka.
I can see a few of you. So yeah,
a few of the mods, yeah? All right.
Salute for locking in.
Apologies on that. Obviously, we're in new studio surroundings, as you can see. We've got the front, lovely, from a Fair Dive View logo right there, as you can see on the screen. Lovely. Right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, big up to everyone who is locked in. But yeah, sure. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go on.
So basically, I was just saying that after the Sancho one, I don't know if you've seen the video in terms of the guy who England brought in, who predominantly worked in rugby.
Yeah.
Him and Southgate were going back and forth, and Southgate's basically got the list of players.
Okay, go on.
In terms of you're going there, you're going there, you're going there, based on the analysis and stuff that he's done. So when it comes to 5th, you see him going over to this guy, basically saying, are you sure? And it's Saka's penalty. How have you allowed Saka to be in that position? Have a guess who was 6th? Have a guess who was going to take the 6th penalty?
I heard it was Pickford.
Why?
I heard it was Pickford. I didn't know if that. Yeah, I heard it was Pickford. I did say this.
Explain this to me.
Yeah, go on.
Right. So no, because I was basically saying, right, Saka taking the penalty.
Yeah.
He plays for Arsenal. Aubameyang's their penalty taker, right? Aubameyang's not there. Who's taking the penalty? Lacazette.
Yeah, that's true.
Lacazette's not there. Who's taking the penalty?
Probably,
it ain't Saka.
Yeah,
he's 5th or 6th down the line.
It's probably a Xhaka or
so why on earth are you letting him take the 5th? It's arguably the most important penalty in England's history.
You know what?
How have you, as a manager, bearing in mind, this is Gareth Southgate, a man that historically known for missing an important penalty at a Euros. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
You 100%. Know the pain.
Yeah, you know the pain. If there's
someone more experience when you miss the penalty. He's 19 years old. Protect the boy. What are you doing?
Yeah. It is a protection thing.
It's a joke.
But again, this goes back to what I said originally about Gareth Southgate. And at key moments, he'll get decisions wrong. And that was one of them. The thing is, he made all these wrong decisions, but because Italy were so bad, he still had time to rectify this. You had the first half. The fact that you didn't kill Italy off in the first half, okay, we still won the look going into the second half. All England had to do was have the ball a little bit. That was it. Protect the ball. Take care with the football. Why are Italy having 75% possession of the football? Yes, they have Verratti and Jorginho in midfield, 2 players I rate very highly. And if it was 60-40, I'd understand, because to me, they have a better midfield than you. So if Italy retain the possession of the ball better, I would understand that. But it shouldn't be 70-40, because you know what that does? Even if a team is non-threatening like Italy and they have 75% of the ball, Wembley's a big pitch. You are going to get tired.
Exactly.
And then when you get the ball, you're going to gas. You are going to get tired.
What happened, because I don't know. Sorry to interrupt. I don't know where you watched it, if it was ITV or BBC. But Jermaine Genius, so Jermaine Genius came out and said they look like it's the first time in this competition I've seen England look tired.
Yes.
Are you surprised? We've played football, right? Not at a high level. I've managed. I know exactly what it's like. Football is tiring when you're chasing shadows and you're chasing the ball. Yeah. You're going to wear yourself out. And this is where his game management, his in-game management comes into it. And it's questionable.
Yeah, 100%.
Here's my point, right? So I just mentioned Saka, yeah? In terms of if Aubameyang isn't there, who's taking a penalty? He's 5th or 6th down the line, right?
Yes.
Have you or have you not seen Raheem Sterling take penalties for Manchester City?
I think I have.
Several times.
I think I have.
Jack Grealish takes penalties for Aston Villa. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jack Grealish takes penalties.
Yeah,
right? I've seen Calvin Phillips take penalties for Leeds United.
Yeah, you would know that. So yeah.
John Stones technically is unbelievable.
As we've seen with the Maguire one, like again, this is all on Southgate.
And this is my point.
Yes, Saka, Rashford, Sancho should have done better with their penalties, but
they never should have been put in that position in the first place.
At the end of, look at this.
Especially Saka, because you know when he brought Sancho and Rashford on, they were taking penalties. You know that. Sancho's proven that he's good with penalties.
Stefan is saying no, Grealish doesn't take them for Villa, I think. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, because I'm unsure on that.
But he has taken penalties.
He's taken so. But the thing is, he's definitely more equipped.
And he's more experienced.
Yes, he's more experienced. He's more equipped, yes. 100%.
So you missed the point. Roy Keane basically came out and said that if you're Sterling and Grealish, that you can't be letting the 90-year-old step up ahead of you, which is right.
I agree.
Have you seen Grealish's response?
Yes, I did see Grealish's response. We're going to get to that. I did see Grealish's
I think it was worded very, very well. He really thought out that response in terms of, look, I think that the manager got the decisions right and he got some decisions right on the day. This is just part and parcel of football, but I did put my name forward. I believe he did.
Yeah, I'm literally going to check.
How were you not putting Grealish as 5th? There's only more people that are more experienced Sterling. They're the two. And you know what's a joke? Pickford was 6th.
Why was Pickford 6th?
Right, which makes no sense, but wait. Calvin Phillips was 7th. John Stones was 8th. Where are Grealish and Sterling in this?
Yeah, how have you
allowed them to let them slip so far down?
They're your attacking players. So your attacking players are comfortable shooting.
One of them misses, it's over.
Yeah. Jordan Pickford, you know.
6th.
Jordan
Yes, I understand he scored a penalty against Switzerland. What did he do? That was in the what Conference League? What about a European final here? What are you doing?
Jordan Pickford.
6th. Who's allowed that?
Gareth Southgate. And this is my whole point of this guy getting things wrong. Should Sterling, but again, the reason why, so people I've seen both sides of the argument. So I've seen people give the Keane side of the argument and say Grealish and Sterling shouldn't have let Saka take a penalty, which is true if that is the case. But I've seen on the flip side, because Southgate came out, and this is where I'm getting to. Southgate came out and said, what did Southgate say again? Yeah, Southgate came out and said that it's all on him. He picked the 5. But then I've seen other people say, and this is the other side to the argument, I don't agree with it, but we got to give all sides here and from a fair eye view, that Southgate's doing that to protect the players, and Sterling and Grealish didn't fancy it. But to me, that sounds like complete nonsense. Because if there's someone who I don't think there's been a more under pressure, under the spotlight footballer in England, probably since Beckham in the 98 World Cup, than Sterling in terms of everything he's gone through. So for him to get to this point and Raheem Sterling to go, I don't fancy it, sounds wild. He would have folded way before this with everything that's going on.
This is my point. There's a video which I've just alluded to at the beginning of the show. Yeah. It's Gareth Southgate with the list. And he's going round speaking to the guy he brought in specifically for penalties who works in rugby. Yeah. Right? That's another conversation for another day. But he's basically going saying he's there, and then he goes and tells him. That's not Sterling.
Exactly.
That's not Grealish. Yeah. That's Southgate.
Yeah. I was just giving the other side.
No. I'm just saying, but that video's it's Stonewall. There's no argument with that. You can clearly see it, clear as day. Southgate is the one that's made the decision. Yep. Now, if he gets that decision right and all 5 score, he looks
all hail Southgate.
But
100%.
Football isn't a romantic game.
Nope.
It doesn't work like that.
Nope.
And what I'm saying is, you've got first-hand experience. what it's like to miss a big penalty in a European competition for England. It's all your careers ever been talked about. Even as manager now, you're still being talked about, still interviews where it's mentioned. And you put Kyle Saka in that situation, a 19-year-old kid. Like, I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it. Why?
I can. You know why? Because he's not good enough.
Yeah, but
because he's got Jordan Pickford at number 6. Here's the thing. Say Saka scores the 5th. So let's say, for instance, Saka scores the 5th penalty. Let's say Saka scores the 5th penalty. Italy then score their 6th. And Jordan Pickford steps up. Imagine a conversation me and you will be having. This is Gareth Southgate. This is why this man is not good enough. He is not. I've been saying this for the longest. I said it from the start. People are like, oh, why are you being so negative? Why can't England win it? I keep repeating myself. Because when it comes to these clutch moments, this manager is not good enough. Simple as that. And you know how I know this? Because he is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He is Solskjaer international level. That final mirrors the two. The Europa League final between Manchester United and Villarreal, the mistakes that Ole made are pretty much the exact same mistakes that Southgate made in that Euro 2020 final. When somebody's not good enough at something at the highest level, it gets exposed eventually. There's only so long individual brilliance can carry you on. That's what happened in this Euro 2020s. England have got a favorable draw, number 1. 2, they have very good play. They have very good players in attacking areas. And you know who that sounds like? Manchester United Football Club. That's exactly what it sounds like. That is Manchester United Football Club through and through. We have a manager who's not good enough. We're better going forward than we are defensively. And we have talented players in attacking areas that help us win football matches. And that's what happened with England. That's what happened. Raheem Sterling, who basically carried England to that final. Was he good in the final? No, but he was still probably the brightest player. And that tells you all you need to know. Because Kane wasn't good, to be honest. Grealish was okay when he came on. Saka was decent, but they're not being given the best possible platform because they play this pragmatic football. What are you supposed to do when your team has 30% possession? What are you supposed to do with that?
Exactly, and that's why when I see Kane's having a bad game, it's like, he's having to come deep to get the ball. There's at this point, 0 service. So it's like, I understand that. And you're never going to take Kane off when there's a penalty shootout looming. Never. Which I understood why he stayed on. However, the substitution made 0 sense. And it's frustrating because the game was there. It was there to be won. If you show a bottle,
Manchester United Villarreal, that's what it sounds like. The game was there to be won, and it is worse for me as a Manchester United fan because when it comes to England, I'm neutral. Like, I'm not fussed. I've never been connected to the England team, and I'm not talking about all the racism and that's gone on, which we're going to speak about. I'm just saying before this, I've never had that connection. Whereas Manchester United have had that connection. I had no choice. I was born into it, so I feel England fans' pain because I've been here just a few weeks ago.
And this is my point. I had that connection in 2002.
Yeah.
With the Gerrards, the Owens, the Scholes. And I remember being in year 4 and we had a trip that day in terms of going to some castle place and we were making bread and stuff like that. And I remember school saying, look, if you want to get in early to watch the England-Brazil game, we're showing it early. I remember waking up at 6 o'clock.
Getting in early.
Breakfast, getting a lift there, England shirt, watching it in the assembly with a little wheel out TV. Yeah. I remember Owen scoring, and obviously he was an England player a Liverpool player at this point. At this point, I didn't hate him. Times have changed, but I didn't hate him. I loved him. And then we 1-0 up, and then obviously you remember Brazil scoring, and then I just remember the Ronaldinho free kick, and that ruined my trip. Like, I was so mad. I wanted to get kicked off that trip so bad. I just wanted to go home and cry. So it's like I was emotionally connected. 2006, emotionally connected. 2010, kind of, especially the Germany incident, and you see the goal that doesn't go in, and it's just like full circle because obviously you've got a goal that was given in the 66 final, which was never a goal when you look at it. So, and then at that point, I just lost touch with it. And then watching this, I started to buy into it again. And
Bambo just said, you still hate Owen. He'll hate Owen for life.
What? Do I still hate Owen?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will. And hey, you lot, any questions you've got, I can hear on the laptop. Obviously, we're in new surroundings, but we will answer
more to the point. What do you think of these beautiful new surroundings?
Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, Stroll, that's a great point. I think it's great. And we've got the sign. I'm gassed about the sign,
Like I said, for those of you that weren't here right at the beginning, we dropped a mortgage and we bought a new house.
This guy said we, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about this we stuff.
Listen, this is
shout out money making Sol. I know he's listed. He's probably chuckling in the office.
Oh yeah, like
he's chuckling. Shout out the boss man Sol. But yeah, as we were saying about the game, Southgate's mistake, letting games drift. You know who that sounds like? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know how many times have I come on from a third eye view after a weekend and gone, yeah, United, we just let games drift and we rely on individual brilliance.
Do you know what the funny thing is? I can actually name you them games. I can name you them games. Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Everton.
Yeah.
I can Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Joel sat here and watched me complain for the whole past season talking about this manager and the criticisms are the same. Why are you playing 2 DMs when you're playing Italy? When they had Immobile up top who did nothing. Insigne was ineffective. Chiesa was bright. Belotti is one of the worst strikers I've ever seen in my entire life. Who else did they bring on? See that? That's how ineffective the players were that they brought on in an attacking sense that I don't remember who they had. They have Verratti, Jorginho are the 2. And then stand out.
I just want to make a point as well for everyone that thinks I just don't like him.
Yeah.
Kyle Walker.
All right, go on, speak on it.
I've said this on Sarcasm City. I've said this on here. Defensively, he's been outstanding at times. Do you understand the level of composure this man's got? When the ball's being dinked to the back post, he doesn't know what's behind him, and he's got the composure to just chest it down. However, one thing that lets him down is positionally, and he was exposed at times yesterday as well. Whereas his pace gets him out of so much trouble. He's the only defender in the world that I think can actually do that because of his pace.
And that's why, and to give Southgate credit, that's why I praised him. Another thing I will give Southgate credit for, though, is the formation change. I've said from the start,
and this is what I said.
I prefer England. I think England are better with the back three.
And look what happened. We get the goal from it because Trippier's high. Walker on the underlap.
Yeah.
It comes down that side. And then you got Shaw coming in on the other side. It was honestly, it was one of the best tactically. I thought it was unbelievable to see what he did there. And then the flip side, you go from being unbelievably good and lauded in terms of your decisions to just being like, what are you doing?
And if the stream is becoming a bit laggy, people work with us. Obviously, it's new surroundings, so we're still figuring out everything. We're working out the chinks. Don't worry about it. We are going to add to the set as well. We'll probably get a plant pot. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably what we're going to do. We'll do something like that.
Get a football.
Yeah, football. Maybe a football. You never know.
Liverpool shirt.
Now you're just pushing it. You know what I'm saying? This guy, Liverpool shirt.
So
go on.
Let's get to it.
What are we getting to? Oh, you wanted to get to the before actually. Where else? Have we covered everything?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, have I covered everything? Obviously, I've been in and out of regards to the stream. I'm trying to think about, yes, I pretty much have covered everything. Spoke Southgate just not being good enough. Penalties as well, like I said, yes, just wanted to get back to that. Rashford, Sancho, and Saka. Yeah, like you said, Saka shouldn't be taking the 5th pen. They were bad penalties. And the thing is, they deserve criticism for the penalties. I'm cool with that.
Just that.
I'm cool with that.
Just that.
But my issue is, before we get into the whole race issue and things of that nature, people now calling them bad players. I had this on my streams. People talking about, oh, Saka's overrated. Why is Saka overrated?
At what point has Saka ever been overrated?
Why is Saka but people are saying this now just because he missed the penalty. So just because he missed the penalty, Saka is all of a sudden overrated. No, that's not the case. Sancho's not overrated. Neither is Rashford. They took bad penalties. Who took the 5th penalty for Italy? Jorginho, one of the best penalty takers in Europe, and he missed. These things happen, is what I'm saying.
And he's been talked about for a Ballon d'Or.
Oh yeah,
he's not overrated.
Yeah,
Bambo, just quickly, yeah, we will do our team of the tournament. Don't worry. I think that's a phenomenal question.
We will. Yeah, these players definitely 100%. Players miss penalties. These things happen. So I'm not gonna see them be attacked for their talent. Criticize them for missing penalties. Cool. I criticize Rashford's run up.
More to the point. The bottle. These guys have got to even step up.
Because I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Not a chance.
Like, this is Saka's biggest game. He plays for Arsenal, for crying out loud. This is the biggest game of his career.
I wouldn't. Large up Sasha as well. She says, big up Flawless and Stroll liking the new self.
Salute.
Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, Saka plays for Arsenal. Never going to get a bigger moment, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That man ain't never get into a Champions League.
It's a pressure moment. You know how many people I wouldn't take it. I would have said no.
But that's because my biggest strength is penalties. Always has been, because I used to practice them. But this is what I'm saying, is even then I think I'd question myself if I'm being told to step up, because you just see this wall of white of England shirts behind the goal and what it means and how big the moment is. It's a difficult, and they stepped up. Yeah. And then you get to the ugly side of it, and it's just like,
Do you think people are still accountable for letting Saka take the penalty? Yes, 100%.
Yeah, we just
you got to
say
certain times you have to save people from themselves, kind of like being a child. You know what I'm saying? Being a parent, for instance, you have to save your child from themselves at times. You're a dad. There'll be times your daughter wants to do certain things and you'll tell her no. And I've got nieces and nephews and younger cousins and that. And there'll be times they want to do things and you'll say no. There's probably people watching this live or watching this back right now who can relate to that, who are parents, or you're the adult in a situation and you tell a child, no, you got to save. Of course, Saka's gonna want to take the penalty. He's fearless. And I think if England you know what's crazy? I think if England get to the World Cup final in 2022 and the 5th penalty comes up, I think Saka takes it again. I think he's made it that stuff.
Yeah. You can tell he's a different breed.
Rashford takes the 3rd, and I think Sancho takes the 4th. I think they're the type of characters. But you have to save people from themselves. Put the experienced players in there.
And this is what I'm saying. Give them like that. You literally chucked Sancho and Rashford on at the deep end, and it was poor management. It really was. And then you see the horrible stuff. Now,
let's get to it, because we always speak about this from a third eye view, because we do. You know what I mean? We have to speak. Unfortunately, we have to speak about these things. And if you're uncomfortable about us talking about racism, feel free, please, to leave the stream. And there's no other side to this. No pun intended, but it's not black or white. You know what I mean? It is black or white, sorry. There's no middle ground. We're not debating football. We're not debating if Southgate's good enough. We're not debating if he should have kept with the back three, or what formation he should have played, or whether he's more attacking. All these things, anything in football can be debated. I'm cool with that. Racism, zero tolerance in that. So see yourself out if we're with this. And what's mad is when Rashford's stepping up to take the 3rd penalty, I want Rashford to score, because obviously I like Rashford, Manchester United fan. But I'm thinking, not only are you going to get abuse in a footballing sense, I'm like, black player, you're going to miss. I know what your mentions are going to be like if you miss. Then he misses and I feel gutted for him. Sancho steps up. Aside from being Manchester United player, these men could play for Liverpool, same difference, and I'm going to get to that. Sancho steps up and I'm thinking, your mentions are going to be a mess if you miss. Monkey emojis, all this type of abuse, banana emojis, all that type of ignorant nonsense. Saka steps up. Arsenal player. Everyone knows I get onto Arsenal. I'm thinking the same. Please don't miss. And that's not me saying I want a white player to miss as well. I wanted England to win the shootout. And I'm thinking the abuse these men are going to get on social media.
That's the problem. Is you should only want the player to miss because it's a penalty shootout.
Yes.
You should never want the player to miss because of the abuse that you know they're going to get in at the end. And this is what disgusted me more than anything, right? Is the so-called leaders, take the in quotes, leaders of this country, right? Have you seen the leaks? What's that?
No, I've not seen the leak. What's this? No, I'm not seeing it.
A specific MP.
Okay.
Talking about Rashford's miss.
Yeah.
Talking about, do you think he should more on his football than he is be a politician? Here's the problem I have with that.
That's out of order.
You're supposed to be a leader of this country. Bearing in mind, this man wiped your bums and made you look foolish and actually seized a lot of your jobs by being Marcus Rashford and feeding millions and millions of underprivileged kids in this country. Yeah. Something you failed to do.
Facts.
You failed at your job.
Facts.
Failed.
Yes. 100%. Failed. Yes.
And he stepped in, the savior that he is, like a king that he is.
Yes.
And he fed over 20 million kids in a pandemic. Yes. And he did that off his own back.
Facts.
And you have the cheek,
the
nerve to go into a WhatsApp group chat with all your other rich politician friends who don't care about this country. No. And to throw a shot like that, it's so below the belt. But yeah, if he'd have scored that penalty, you'd have celebrated.
All hail Marcus Rashford. And Drizzy Des just said there, did you see Tyrone Mings' response to Pretty Patel, I think she's called, on Twitter? No, I didn't. Drizzy Des, please drop it in the comments so I can see that. But yeah, that's my problem, is that it's all hail Marcus Rashford if he scores, but if he misses or he needs to concentrate on his football. What does that have to do with him playing football? Anybody can miss a penalty. I said again, we see Jorginho in that same shootout, one of the best penalty takers in Europe, miss a penalty. We've seen the GOATs. I've seen Messi miss a penalty. I've seen Cristiano Ronaldo miss a penalty. I've seen Mbappe miss a penalty this tournament. There's multiple players who have all missed penalties. If you take a certain amount, you'll miss penalties 100%. So it's nothing to do with that. You know, what did he say?
All right, so Piri Patel, I'm disgusted that England players who have given so much for our country this summer have been subject to vile racist abuse on social media. It has no place in our country, and I back the police to hold those responsible accountable. Tyrone Mings, you have literally just gone up. My respect levels for you are now through the roof. This is the response. You don't get to stoke the fire at the beginning of the tournament by labelling our anti-racism message as gesture politics and then pretend to be disgusted when the very thing we're campaigning against happens. Nail on the head.
Yep.
And this is the problem, is the leaders in this country are shy when it comes to this topic. They don't want to be seen talking about it. They don't want any involvement in it. They don't want any part of it. Do you know why? Because you look like me. Not as good looking as me, but the same colour. It's as simple as that. What? Am I lying? Come on now. Like, it's the truth though. Like, because,
I ain't saying nothing on that last part, but go on, carry on.
But it's true. Like, they look like me in terms of the white.
Yeah.
Like I said, not as good looking.
That was the part I was saying. I ain't saying nothing on.
But this is what I'm saying. It's, I know, and it's time to get serious now. As a white man in this country, I am disgusted by what I seen yesterday in terms of Marcus Rashford's notifications and everything on his post. Yes. Sancho, Saka, because you're the first to celebrate when they score.
Yeah, when they dragged you there. Let's keep it real. It was Sterling. It was Sterling that got England to that. Take away his goals, they don't get out of the group. It was Sterling's performances in the knockout rounds all the way to the final. It would have been all hail Sterling, but now it's the N-word. Go back to your own country. That's what it is. That's what Saka got. And when Saka scores that penalty and the game, they said, all hail Saka in that. What's
the worst part? Saka was your profile picture.
Yeah, Saka was that's the craziest part about it.
And that's what I'm saying.
I've seen people get abused. I've seen people get racially abused, whether it's players, whether it's other YouTubers and that. And the person abusing them, because it's always these non-avidons. It's always the if you're racist, be racist with your chest in it. That's what I always say in it. So we know not to deal with. You don't come around anything that's black, etc., etc. You get me? Don't get involved in the culture. I don't want to see you listening to reggae music, listening to hip hop, nothing. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to see you Millie rocking, none of that. You get what I'm saying? Don't watch basketball, absolutely none of that whatsoever. But the worst part about it is, more time I've seen people get racially abused and their player is a black player. It's a Trent. You know what I'm saying? It's a Sterling. I'm saying it's a Ronaldinho. It's someone like that. That's the craziest part to it. The craziest part. And the worst part about it is when these players are stepping up. Not only am I thinking after the shoot, I'm like, these players are going to get abused. I'm like, I hope all my brothers, and I don't mean blood brothers, but I'm like, I hope all black people, even people I don't know, get back safe. Because I'm hearing how true this is. I don't know. I was hearing black people being attacked. I'm hearing Asian people were being attacked. So I'm going to stand up for both.
There's a number of stabbings in terms of what I've seen.
So black people and Asian people being attacked for black players missing penalties and that. Say that was me. Say I could have been out there because I was thinking about going out to watch the game. So that could have been me. So
here's the point, right? I'm talking from a father point of view, yeah? So, unfortunately, some of these racists have kids.
Yes.
Right? Let's say your kid's seriously ill and the only doctor that can save her is a person of color. Mm-hmm. And now this is
Let's say Asian doctor. I get what you're saying. Let's say it's an Asian doctor.
But this is my right. So as a white man, I don't know if what I've just said there is politically incorrect, but I'm going to throw this out there straight away. Right? Is regardless of skin color, that man's my brother. Always will be. Never will change. I will die for this man. Let me just make that clear. And it's the same. Is I grew up in an environment where I was heavily influenced by black culture. Hip hop changed my life. Tupac was one of my favorite artists. Mm-hmm. I'm a white man from Stretford. And this is what winds me up, is not more people like me in terms of skin color that will stand up and talk when it needs to happen. And I seen a tweet, it might have been from Willsey, it might have been from someone else, basically turning around saying that until you have a Black Lives Matter march and there's no black people in there, I think nothing will ever change. And it really hit home with me. Because it's like, it's so true. And more people need to step up. And do you know where it starts? With the government. No, they're too scared to do that. And then you see that tweet and you see the response from Tyrone Mings, which is absolutely nail on the head. And then you see the leaked WhatsApp messages. It's a disgust. But as I was saying, let's say the only doctor can save you is an Asian doctor, a person of color, right? What, you're going to stop him because you're racist? Are you hell?
Absolutely not. Like I say, people aren't racist until it's convenient to them. You know what I'm saying? Until you're entertaining us, until you're getting us to a Euro final. It's all hail Saka, it's all hail Sterling, it's all hail Sancho, Rashford. You know what I'm saying? In that, So Hail Calvin Phillips, who I didn't know up until this tournament was of Jamaican heritage. I had no idea up until this tournament, but he decided to leak that. You know what I'm saying? Ironically, Jamaica played today. I'm going to do a watch along for that as well.
But did you see how the newspaper labeled it as well?
Well, go on. I didn't see that. No.
In terms of,
was it something about his dad being in jail or something like that? What's that got to do with Calvin Phillips?
It didn't.
What's that got to do with? That's nothing to do with Calvin.
Genuinely,
Phillips.
right? And this is no word of a lie. People in the comments. Yeah. I'll come on to you in a second. Yeah. People in the comments, name me what newspaper that was.
Genuinely, I'm laughing people is because I already know. Yeah.
You've not even seen it, and you know what newspaper it is. Name me the newspaper, people. I'll give you 5 seconds.
I'll give you 5 seconds just to get to some of the comments as well. Cause I didn't know these things was going on. So Bambo says flawless people were getting thrown in the River Thames. River Thames, sorry. A black woman died yesterday. R.I.P. to that black woman.
Rest in peace.
YG just said 13 stabbings after the game yesterday. Flawless. One girl died yesterday. R.I.P. to that girl. And I hope everybody who was
rest in peace to that queen
is safe. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Rest in peace to that black queen. Rest in peace to anybody who, well, not rest in peace. Hopefully anyone who was attacked, you hear me, is okay.
Recovery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're okay. They make a speedy, because I could have easily been out there. JV could have been out there. A Tux could have been out there. Look, Pie Radio. Soul could have been out there. A Sparks. Oh, like there's so many, and we could have been in any situation. I seen people tweeting. I seen black people. I don't know, because obviously tweets go viral talking about I had to get home quick. You know what I'm saying? I felt under pressure, and I felt that way instantly. I was like, okay, who do I know that's out that I need to message right now? Even Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my guy Ryan. He's Asian people, and he was planning on going out, and he got sick in it, and he's been ill. And I said, there's a reason why you got ill for you to not go out. And then look what happens with that. Because I'm like, you could have been in dangerous surroundings. Possibly. But I'd have been scared for him. Yeah, genuinely scared for him if he was out and England would have lost as an Asian guy. I would have been scared for him. Go on.
And then this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and he got it right as well. Oh, Bappo and Gabriel. Everybody, YG just got it right. Yeah.
Shock. What an absolute shock. It's come from that disgusting newspaper. But anyway, and then this is my point. It's so sad to see, and it's embarrassing, because it's always, I understand why, it's always these nerdy, fat, old white guys who just have no sense in terms of modernization and how different the world is, because you're living in your mum's loft painting figurines. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you actually stepped out in the real world, you see how beautiful it is, how the different cultures all mix. Everything, like, but and I said this months ago. You are the first person to step online with, like you said, no avidons, yeah, no profile picture.
It's always the no avidons.
You have a profile picture of Trent. You're some ginger white guy who burns at this literally the first sight of the sun. But you're happy to listen to reggae music and eat jerk chicken. Have a word with yourself. You are a walking contradiction. Like, who are you?
Facts.
And you make people like me feel bad and make not feel bad, look bad historically, because of your actions. I'm the first person to stand there 10 toes down and will fight everything when it comes to racism. And that's what winds me up, is I have to feel like I genuinely have to defend myself time after time because of you idiots. Disgusting. It's a football game, for crying out loud. Yep. You'd be the first person where if it was at any point and any one of your lives needed saving, they would be the first person to stand there and help. But no, you want to play the big man. 100%. You want to walk around with knives. And you want to start fighting people and take this queen's life. It's disgusting. And I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart. As a white person from Stratford, genuinely, I'm looking straight into the camera. If you're feeling uncomfortable by what I'm saying, you don't agree with it, go. Don't ever watch this show again. Yeah, we have no time for that, because the last time we spoke on it, which is too recent, because we seem to talk about, we should be here talking about football. You know what I'm saying? Solely football, but yeah, we're here talking about racism. I remember last time we spoke about it on one of the previous shows, and somebody popped up and was trying to play the other side. Again, let me reiterate this. There's no playing the other side. Me and Stroke can disagree on football all day long. Everything from United, Liverpool, England, Southgate, Klopp, Henderson, whatever in it. Like, it makes no difference. So we're going to get onto Jordan Henderson's performance as well, because I did forget about that. But with racism, it is literally black and white, no pun intended. No, there's no grey area with it. It's not.
Gray area. It's black. It is black.
And if you're in a grey area, you're creating a bigger problem. Yeah. It needs sorting, because it's getting out of control, but it starts from the top down. And unfortunately,
look, and Prime said this, and the thing is, Prime, if I would have known you was there, obviously I seen you on the way back, I would have messaged you, because Prime says I was out yesterday watching the game in the pub. He's with Timo, Monster, and Lewis as well. And obviously, they're all people. Obviously,
just very quickly though.
Yeah. Say again. Go on.
With Monster.
That is true. Monster is a unit. That is true. But still, they might still like.
If I was with Monster, I'd feel safe.
Yeah, I get your point. But just in case,
I'm joking. But yeah, like
I get what you're saying.
But
still would have
never should feel like just going to their local pub could ever put them
support England. You know what I'm saying? And that. Like literally going to support the same team.
England.
You're supporting the same. It's not like it's rival teams. You're supporting the same nation.
And this is what winds me up about international football is I'll criticize because I thought Maguire didn't have the great start to the game. And I tweeted about it saying, look, he's a bit shaky. He
had the misplaced pass at the start.
Yeah. But then even then, like his passing was just going out. Yeah. And it's like, oh, because you're clearly a Liverpool fan. No. I'm talking right now as an England fan. Yeah. Forget club rivalries for a second. This is bigger than that. This is history.
Because when me and you are talking about England players, we're talking about them as England players. When we're talking about Kyle Walker.
I despise Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
I was the first to come on here and praise him tonight.
He did play well. And we are going to do player.
He was outstanding.
Well. He was very good. Like for all the criticisms he receives, especially from me
and all his deficiencies as well.
Good for all his deficiencies.
He was unbelievable.
And he was even good. It will get forgotten about because England lost. He was good in the shootout. He was good at the shootout.
No, he was historic in the shootout. He was let down by Gareth Southgate's decisions in the shootout.
Yeah, he was. I think they all were. I think the nation was let down by Gareth Southgate.
Everything about Jordan Pickford's game yesterday, his distribution was outstanding.
The nation was let down by Gareth Southgate. I believe that's what I would say. But yeah, man, larger prime. And we got almost 40 people locked in. Get the likes up. If you're watching this live right now on YouTube, please get the likes up on the video and make sure you share it across all your socials and subscribe to the Pi Radio YouTube. We are here every Monday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in these beautiful news surroundings, discussing all things football. It's Premier League. It's a Premier League show, but of course, we know Premier League. We'll be discussing transfer rumors.
It's a football show.
It's a football show. And then we'll be discussing Euros.
Forget the clubs for a second. We're football fans first and foremost. So we talk football and 100%. We don't do it in a biased way. I'll be most unbiased by saying this right now. I thought Jordan Henderson was poor when he came on.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get more polar opposites than United Liverpool. But yeah, we can sit here and talk. But yeah, on to Jordan Henderson's cameo. Awful. It was terrible. His cameo. Like, we was cracking joke about it because obviously Ryan was on the stream.
This is what frustrates me though, is Jordan Henderson, right, is one of them where he grows into a game. So for example, when he came on against Ukraine, it took him 5 minutes to go into the game, but he had a lot of the ball and he found his feet and then he scored a goal from it. Denmark is exactly the same thing. Was he grew into that game and he was the energy that England needed in that second half for the extra time, right?
Yeah.
You bring Jordan Henderson into a game where there's 30% of the ball. Jordan Henderson's a player that needs to feel the ball quickly. Same with Rashford. Do you know what I mean? You need to have that touch of the ball to get yourself into a rhythm. And he was so out of it. And you could just tell. You could tell straight away from there was a few good moments in terms of where he shimmied Jorginho on the halfway line, but then the execution of the pass with the outside of his foot's poor.
Oh, that was awful, that pass. We all just groaned like, what? It's a simple pass, just side foot it into, I think it was Luke Shaw on that side. But
this is what I mean. If you bring him on at half time, it's a different Henderson. And this is what frustrates me.
Again, Southgate not helping. What the thing is, you're chasing the game, and this is no disrespect to Jordan Henderson. Make an attacking change. Again, if it's a defensive change, even though I'm not a big fan of Jordan Henderson, I understand it. You're trying to solidify the game.
But he tried that with Mount on the pitch.
Yeah, Mount should have been taken off a long time ago. How Mount lasted 100 minutes.
How Mount lasted the past 3 games?
Yeah, he wasn't good against Ukraine and they won 4-0.
Wasn't good against Denmark.
He wasn't good. Yeah. He wasn't good. That's what I'm saying. The Ukraine game, because that was before the Denmark. He wasn't good. Well, again, these are all Southgate's deficiencies, and you're not gonna get a favorable draw. And it's highly unlikely because he's had 2 actually. So it's highly unlikely you're gonna get a third favorable draw.
And this is how you know that he made his substitutes terrible. The 2 midfielders that started, who was the best midfielder out of the 2?
Rice.
Who did he leave on?
Phillips. Gareth Southgate.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, Gareth Southgate. And the thing is,
are you literally is it short straw?
Yeah, Italy offered nothing. Why have you got 2 DMs?
Exactly my point.
If Italy were flying forward and peppering the English goal, I'd understand.
I understand starting with the 2 DMs.
Cool,
however, when you go 1-0 up,
yeah,
unless you go in defensive, which he clearly wasn't because he kept Mount on the pitch, it just doesn't make any sense.
Facts.
And it's frustrating. I genuinely feel like I'm repeating myself.
Yeah, it's not a frustrating thing. It's Southgate not being good enough, and we are.
No, it is frustrating.
It's
How have you not learned from your mistakes?
Because he's not good enough.
2018, was he or was he not criticised for not making decisions and not making substitutions at the right time?
Yes.
So why on earth are we then going into a tournament where Scotland, Croatia, Scotland, Czech Republic, Germany, Ukraine, Denmark, Italy, all let the game drift in the second half?
Yeah, he did.
At what point is one of his backroom staff going, Southgate, mate, listen.
Personality, though.
Listen, I think you need to address this.
It's a personality thing, though, in terms of he's scared not to lose mentality.
A cat's only got 9 lives. There's only so long you're going to be able to get away with it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
100%. Yes, I don't want to hear, oh, it did so well because he got to the final. No, I refuse. Have I, or has he not made some questionable decisions all that time?
Yeah.
Who was arguably England's player of the tournament?
To me, it was Raheem Sterling.
And?
Luke Shaw, I'd probably put in there as well.
Stop. Yeah. Luke Shaw. Why are you playing Trippier at left back in the first game? Am I lying?
You know, I'm laughing because Stroll's not let this go from the first game.
Am I lying?
Yeah, you're not lying. It's just funny that
have you seen Luke Shaw's impact in this tournament? How dare you play Trippier at left back?
That's ridiculous. And you've got Chilwell and Saka who are more than capable
of
playing.
Forget Chilwell for a second. You've got Luke Shaw's had one of the best performances from a fullback in a European competition. He scored in the European final, and you play Trippier at left back.
Yeah, and the thing is, Trippier played at right wing back and crossed the ball in for sure to score in the final. So
it's not rocket science.
Play right backs and right wing backs at right back and right wing back, and play left wing backs and left backs.
Fair enough. If all your left backs are injured, that wasn't the case.
Yeah,
you picked 4 right backs.
You picked 4. That's because again, the reason why I picked 4 right backs.
He bottled it
with the Trent. Stand on it. I say this all the time, and again, it goes back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the number 1 situation. Dean Henderson's your number 1 goalkeeper. Yes, he made mistakes against Liverpool, but you have to stand by your guy. That's your number 1. Stand on it and either succeed or fail by it. But when you flip-flop, it breeds 0 confidence. How's Henderson? I've said this about Manchester United. I don't know who our number 1 is anymore. I legit don't know. And you've caused that problem. If you would have picked a number 1, whether I think Henderson's good enough or not, at least I know who the number 1 is. Now we have an issue.
Yeah, because then you can build a team around him.
Yes.
And that's the problem is when you don't know, you can't do that. There's no foundation there.
Facts.
And that's one of United's biggest problems going into next season. Yes, Sancho is an unbelievable signing. However, the defensive deficiencies are going to kill you because you don't know who your number 1 is and you can't build the foundation from the back.
Nope.
So it's like, I don't agree with Pickford being England keeper coming into the competition. However, he built the team around that and look at the performance you got out of him.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we'll touch on that when we go into player of the tournament. But just one other thing I want to touch on as well, because this came around and it's kind of been overshadowed by the racism, and it shouldn't, because this is big an issue. And this was spoke about, I think, before the final, before the semi-final, probably before the quarters, and how domestic abuse goes up in households when England drop out of the tournament.
The stats are disgusting.
And again, like the racism, that's right up there as well. In terms of me, there's no gray area with domestic violence in it. You should not be putting hands on your other half because your football team went out of a competition. No chance. And if you do that, you're a low life. Absolute low life. And that should not be happening. And the fact it goes up, I think it's 4%, 50% or whatever crazy stat
I think it was like 42%.
It's absolutely crazy. You should not be doing that. No way should you be putting hands on anybody. Never mind much the person you love. You know what I'm saying? Possibly the mother of your kids.
Especially when your team went out. Brought into this world by a woman.
Facts. How would your mum feel about that? Because the thing is, people who do that, I bet if your dad put hands on your mum, you lot would be the first to kick off.
Oh, yeah.
Similar to the doctor analogy you use. Surely you kick off. You get me? For these people who are, you get me, putting hands on their other half because England went out of a competition. If their dad did that to their mum, they'd be the first to put hands on their dad.
But do you see what we're doing now with the analogies and with the metaphors?
Putting it together.
How stupid you look.
You look like an idiot. Yes, you do.
Like, it's so, honestly, it's baffling to me. And yeah, I see those stats, the domestic abuse, none of that. Like, this is where a strong message from the top.
Yep.
Oh no, after the Europa League final.
Yes.
And it's a teacher.
Yeah.
He's meant to be
educating, and he probably has black, enough. Asian kids, in his class.
And he feels comfortable to say that on social media. That's alarming.
Because he thought he would just get lost in the melee. I can be racist, but because there's loads of us here, I'll be all right. I won't get pointed out.
And that's what I'm saying. It needs
and someone what I like about that type of thing was when they out themselves on socials. One, I love when they out themselves on socials. Two, can't remember, but carry on.
But like, I remember the social media backlash because obviously he's from Manchester and his best mate is a black guy and they go gym together. And he was like, whoa, wait. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, mate. Like, I've seen you. Like, I grew up with you. Like, where's this come from? Like, I've been to your family, like your parties with your family. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's pure stupidity. But yeah, the whole domestic abuse thing is disgusting.
I just wanted to touch on it. I did. All right, let's get into Euro 2020 team of the tournament. Let's get into that. You not give us your thoughts because there'll definitely be players I've forgotten.
There'll definitely be a lot of.
All right, what formation we got? Are we going with like 4-2-3-1? Is that what we're going with? Formation. That's what we got to pick first and foremost.
Yeah.
All right, then. Goalkeeper.
Pickford.
I would say Pickford as well.
Do you understand how weird that feels to say
that? That's crazy. Quick? Pickford was very good. He had the one moment against Denmark, he made the mistake, and then that was it.
But you know, from me, you know how that just speaks how highly this man's done in this tournament.
Well,
definitely
so
Pickford.
I would say Pickford, yes, I would. All right, we'll go right back. Who stood out? Right back. Let us know, people. Right backs. Bambo, I see you putting other names there. Right backs, people. I'm trying to think what right backs have stood out during this tournament.
I think Di Lorenzo stood out.
I think he's been, again, I've said this about this tournament, it's been more team performances than individual brilliance. Like you look at England as a team, they've been decent.
But even then, like defensively, that unit's been stunning.
Do you put Di Lorenzo in there? I'm trying to think.
He's the only one that stands out in my head.
It is a shot. I'm not sure how often he played at right back, but I thought he was decent because he's always solid. That's been a quell.
Actually, right back. Marcus Rashford was 2 minute cameo.
This guy a joker.
Actually, Luke Shaw. I'm surprised Luke Shaw's not.
Said Dumfries and Halo.
Dumfries is not a bad shout. Holland, I thought he was quality. However, he's won. I can't look past Di Lorenzo. He won the competition.
All right, we'll go with Di Lorenzo.
This is where it gets interesting.
All right, centre backs. Is it Bonucci and Chiellini? But then you can't look at Stones. I thought Stones was incredible.
I'm so happy you just said that.
Stones was incredible.
I'd say
Stones. I think Stones was incredible.
Can I just say something as well? 337 games together as a centre-back pairing is ridiculous.
Who's this?
Bonucci and Chiellini.
Oh, yeah, 330. Yeah, I think Chiellini came out and said, I know Bonucci better than I know my wife.
337 games. Well, I've never seen that from a pairing. That is scary.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Now, here's the problem, right? Stones is definitely in there for me.
All right, so let's say Stones.
I can't pick between the two.
I'm both saying, you know what? As much as it pains me to admit it, and he's probably going to pop up in the comments, Christensen did have a good tournament. Someone said Christensen did have a good tournament.
He did. He scored a phenomenal goal. However, Bonucci's, I've got to go with Bonucci just because of the goal in the final and overall his performance. He was by the way.
So we're saying Stones and Bonucci.
By the way, just going back to Bonucci last night.
Yeah.
See how composed them backheaders were?
Yeah.
From like 30 yards out. Like that's a different level of bottle, that.
Yeah.
Because you get one of them wrong. Yeah.
So we're saying Bonucci,
Stones. Yeah.
Left back.
Come on now. Definitely Kieran Trippier.
This guy's got joker. People have said Spinazzola. Luke Shaw's a shout.
What? Luke Shaw's a shout. Luke Shaw is the shout. There's no one else.
You don't think Spinazzola was up there with him?
Nope.
You don't think so?
Luke Shaw was in a league of...
How many games did he start, though?
Have you magically turned into a Liverpool fan?
No, I'm not.
At what point? How is Luke Shaw not the left back of the tournament?
Because I'm thinking how many games he played. That's what I'm thinking.
Did you see the impact?
Yeah, his impact was good, but I'm thinking over a long period of time. Like, because he didn't start the first game, did he? Did he play against? He played the second game against
He's played every game
Scotland.
since.
You play every game since? Are you sure?
Yes.
Swear you got. So when did Chilwell play? Chilwell's played one of these matches.
Oh no, I think Chilwell played the second game.
Right. So he played the third game against Czech Republic.
Yeah, which is the most important. And then look what he's done since. Look at the opposition.
He did play well against Ukraine.
For assists.
Denmark.
How many assists did he get?
Yeah. It's probably Luke Shaw. Right, still.
He scored in the European final.
Yeah, he did. See, Prime here. These are giving me.
Tripping?
Now you're tripping. Bambo, look. Bambo said Spinazzola.
What?
Noah said Shaw. Prime said Spinazzola, which makes me think it's Shaw. Stefan said Spinazzola, so stop the cap. Bambo saying Spinazzola. Stefan is saying Spinazzola was low-key Italy's best player before.
Am I tripping?
You're not tripping. You know what it was? Spinazzola was very good for Italy. Considering their lack of attack, he was very good for Italy.
Luke Shaw scored in the European final.
That is true. But Spinazzola.
How many assists did he get in the quarterfinal? Did you see his performance
was good in the quarterfinal
against Germany?
He was good.
Did you see his performance against Denmark?
You got points.
What are we doing?
You got a point. Nah, Spinazzola was good though. That's what people are going with. But I go with Shaw.
How many games has Spinazzola not played for?
I think it's 2.
Game over, done. No,
I think they played. Shaw played one more. I think Shaw's played one more than
it is Luke Shaw. It's not.
But we'll go with Luke Shaw.
It's not even up for debate.
All right, DMs. I think Jorginho is one of them. Definitely
has to be.
Who's the other? You stood out.
This is where this
midfielders people. So we got 1. We need another one. Another 6/8.
You already know who mine is.
Was Bambo there? If Pogba goes on further in the tournament, I say Pogba. But because he went out in the knockout round, I can't really pick him. I'm saying Pedri. Xhaka, you taking liberties? No chance, Nathan.
Wait, did you see his performance against France though?
I didn't think he was all that. Against France. No,
that is one of the best. Like, it's genuinely, and then this is the problem. You know when you see like
Busquets now.
You know when you see club teams buy players based on like cup competitions and like world cups.
Xhaka, so that's one game. Xhaka wasn't really good for Switzerland before that.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like, that is the personification of buying someone at an international tournament and it goes wrong. That Xhaka performance is one of the best performances I've seen from him ever. And
because the levels is on it for him is in the ground. That's why.
And then I'm thinking like, if anyone would have bought
Damsgaard, I wouldn't put in a 6, but Damsgaard did play well when I seen him. I would have played him in the 6.
He's 21 years old.
Technically, that kid is unbelievable. Who got? What was the quarterfinals? What was the quarterfinal? Like the whole lineup. I'm trying to think.
Belgium, Italy,
cool.
Denmark, England, Ukraine.
Yeah.
Denmark, Czech Republic. Spain, Croatia.
Okay. Trying to think.
You already know mine.
Go on, who's yours? Because I can't think. No one stands out.
Come on now. You know who mine is.
Like I said, I would have said Pogba if he was, but he didn't stay in the tournament long enough. Who?
I've been singing his praises.
Who?
All tournament.
Who? Go on.
Phillips.
It's not Phillips.
It's definitely Phillips.
It's not Phillips. I'm not having that.
Statistically, have you seen him in this tournament?
I'm VOing that. It's not Phillips. He's been good. It's not been player of the
nah. In the team of the tournament, absolutely. Nah. There's not anyone
saying De Bruyne, man is saying Pedri.
You can't have De Bruyne as a 6.
I'm saying Pedri. We might have to do a 6 and 2/8 for him. We're gonna have to do a 6 and 2/8. I can't think of another 6. I'm not having Phillips. No chance. Decent. I'm not.
Definitely can't have Pogba.
Yeah, I said that.
No, but what I'm saying is you got a Pogba. You can't have De Bruyne. De Bruyne's played 2 games.
I wouldn't have De Bruyne either. No. I think Pedri might be a shout. I like Pedri. Yeah. All right, we need one more. I'm not.
It's definitely like I'm not even just saying it statistically.
We have
no one that's come close.
Yeah, the fact that Prime agrees with you tells you all you need to know. It's not Phillips.
It is.
It's not Phillips. How many 8 out of 10 games did he have?
Croatia. He was the best, but he was one of our best.
Croatia's the first game, right?
Yeah, Croatia,
I'll give you that, yes.
Scotland, because he was a standout in that game.
He wasn't no standout.
No, he was, because I'll tell you why. Because the whole reason why the midfield got slaughtered is because of Declan Rice performance.
Declan Rice wasn't good.
However, if you look at Phillips' performance in that game, it was outstanding.
He was decent. He was better than Rice. He was decent. Germany. I disagree with that. Okay, he did decent. No, he wasn't special.
No, he was.
He wasn't special against Germany. He wasn't nothing special. He wasn't, man.
Denmark.
I know you, Phillips.
Yes.
Better against Denmark. Denmark will give you. That's 2, man. I'm saying he wasn't. spectacular.
What I'm saying is, and look what happened to Jorginho. Yes, who did he put on into one mark, and who was non-existent for the first half because of Phillips? Jorginho.
England team being good.
No, tactically because of
Højbjerg or Xhaka. I'm not saying Xhaka.
Not Xhaka. Højbjerg
was decent. And I think, well, the midfield, that goes to show that we're struggling. It's not Phillips. It's not Phillips. He was not player of the tournament.
Right, let me get stats up.
Forget it's a 50% stat test, 50% eye test. He struggled. He wasn't good against Scotland. He wasn't good against Scotland, fam. He was not good. He wasn't good against Scotland.
How was he not good against Scotland?
He wasn't good against Scotland.
No, you can't just say he's not good.
How was he not good at? What did he do? Offensively, he offered nothing. What did he do?
That is not true.
He didn't offer nothing. So what did England create? Then he offered nothing.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Wait. England created very little against Scotland. Scotland were worthy for the draw. That wasn't a good performance. Defensively, you don't defend. No. Let me land because you said You said you wanted to hear what it is. Defensively, Scotland offered nothing, so you had little to do defensively. Offensively, he offered very little. Defense. What did Scotland offer offensively against England?
Are you honestly telling me that you didn't see Tierney and Robertson having a field day at times down the left hand side?
They had a field, but what did they create? They didn't create anything. That's just bright moments in that. They didn't create anything. Scotland are not a threat. I'm not giving you credit. You know what I'm saying, for playing decent against Scotland. It's Scotland.
No,
this is my point. It's Scotland.
Yeah, but regardless.
Because when he's played against a proper midfield, he disappeared yesterday. He disappeared
that's
yesterday.
his one bad game. And even
that's his one bad game against the best performance. And even Germany. And I think Germany's his second worst game. Is Germany his second worst game?
Because he wasn't bad against Germany.
No. I didn't say he was bad against Germany. I answered the question. I said, was Germany his second worst game?
No.
So where was he worse than? What was his next behind the hill? Okay, no. I'm not saying he was bad.
Let me land. I'll let you land. Let me land. Right. Yesterday. Yeah. I'm the first to come on here and say it wasn't a good game for him whatsoever.
It was awful.
However, he still impacted that game. First half. Jorginho was non-existent. And then what happened? Southgate then decides to sit back, which you can't do against that team. And then how many times did we see Jorginho, Verratti, and who was the one who they brought on in the number 10?
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
They had a field day because there was always a man spare, which is why I'm saying if you're going to sit back, you can't sit back with Mason Mount on the pitch. So he was left exposed for that second half.
He was exposed at times.
But in the first half,
you still have to demand the ball.
First half, he did.
How so? If you demanded the ball, how you only have 30 touches?
Genuinely, I'm not even exaggerating, right? And I'm not even just saying this. I watched that game. You have no idea how many times he was coming short, saying "play me," and he was going past him.
That's happened at times. And again, that's not solely all on him. But again, like I said, the best team.
Down to Southgate.
That is down to Southgate, and that is some of it on Southgate, but some of it's on him as well. Some of that is on him. It's not all on Southgate. The majority you can put on it. I agree with you to an extent. Majority of it.
Play midfield. You play midfield, right?
Midfield,
so you show for the ball. You don't receive the ball. That's not your fault.
No, but
you're
then
in a position to receive the
ball, but then you have to go and demand it, and he didn't do that.
How? Yeah, but
demand it, fam. He didn't go and demand it. No, he didn't. Let's not lie.
He's not demanded it.
He did not demand it.
There saying,
no. There's a difference between you know this. You're a manager. There's a difference between asking for the ball and demanding it. He wasn't demanding it. He wasn't going to the centre backs. He wasn't going to a Stones and Maguire and literally picking him off off him. Because you're talking about putting him in.
You watch
BBC,
play
the tournament. Yes, I watched BBC.
Did you hear what he said about Phillips when he turned around and berated John Stones and Maguire for not receiving the ball?
No, I didn't. Because I was watching a mute.
He literally. There's a bit where second half, I think it is, about 10-15 minutes in before we concede. He literally turns around to him and he goes, "Give me the ball. I'm in a position to receive the ball." He's demanding the ball,
and you have to continue to do that.
But what I'm saying is he covered the most ground yesterday. He made the most tackles yesterday. Interceptions.
He made more than Jorginho.
I'm talking about for England.
Okay, cool.
He impacted the game, and it was his worst game.
I don't think he impacted. Impacted the game is strong. He had moments.
What moments? He nullified Jorginho for the first half.
He had moments. That's not solely on him, no.
How is it not?
That wasn't solely on him. That wasn't solely on him.
How was it not?
That wasn't solely on him.
Who was so you know this, you play midfield. If you're tasked to man mark him.
Wasn't solely because I seen Jorginho on the ball plenty of times from. So he didn't do the job. I seen Jorginho moving the ball. The problem is that Italy offered nothing going forward because they don't have anything. So if he marked him and Jorginho wasn't non-existent, he just wasn't at the Jorginho level. No, he wasn't. So that's a lie. That's not the case.
No, it's not. I'm gonna show you tactically why exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. So
to say Jorginho non-existent is incorrect. He wasn't non-existent.
In the first half.
He just wasn't good. He wasn't non-existent.
No, but this is,
so if that's the case,
let me land.
What was Phillips?
Let me land. So what did England do in the first half?
Go on.
They were aggressive in terms of when they pressed and when they didn't press, right? So the counter pressing at times was excellent. So this is the point why I'm saying where Jorginho was non-existent. Where were you finding Jorginho picking the ball up?
Different places. So
no. Where specifically?
Different places.
On the edge of his box 90% of the time. Mm-hmm. How is he going to create from there? What was then happening was when he was then getting over to the halfway line, when he can then influence the game. That's when Phillips was on him, because England was saying, leave them high up there. You don't have to press them high up there because they're not going to create anything from there. Let Jorginho pick the ball up on the edge of his own box. Unless he's going to ping a 70-yard pass to someone's feet, realistically, what's he going to create? Yeah. You've then got to break us down. The second Jorginho was then picking the ball up on the halfway line, in the semicircle, Calvin Phillips was all over him, pressing him, making him move the ball quickly. You're not giving Jorginho time. So when I'm saying he was non-existent, yes, he was picking the ball up and he received a lot of the ball. However, in the areas that mattered in terms of halfway line onwards, he was non-existent because he was never given the time to get his head up and play a pass. He was constantly rushed. And this is why I'm saying that although I agree Calvin Phillips was awful yesterday, when you look at the distance covered and the impact he had on the game in the first half in terms of rushing Jorginho, he gave Jorginho nightmares at times in that first half, because you've seen Jorginho play. I think he's an unbelievable player. But he needs the time where he picks the ball up, he can ping a ball, and he can conduct things. He didn't get given that time. And this is why I'm so critical of Southgate, because in the second half, you then decide to sit back. You then give Jorginho the time on the ball, and you let Verratti and him dictate.
And he did dictate more. And that's on Southgate. But back to my point on Phillips, I don't think he was incredible this tournament. He wasn't team player of the tournament.
No, he's been a standout. He's definitely been a standout.
Because the bar's on the floor, that's why. We can't even pick another one. That's my point. We can't even pick another one. We picked Jorginho. Who's the other standout midfielders in the whole tournament? We can't pick him because the bar's on the floor. That is my point. We are raising this guy's levels up because the bar's on the floor. Yeah, nobody else has had a start. Like who else? So we've named Jorginho. Who else has stood out? From the quarterfinal onwards, teams in the quarterfinals, what other sixes stood out? There ain't any. That's my point.
Because a lot of these teams don't play with sixes.
No, sixes. All right, let's say eights. But adding both sixes and eights. Who else stood out? We got Jorginho in there. Who else stood out in midfield? This is my point. Verratti, yeah, because he didn't start. Onwards, yeah, because I don't think he was injured the first 2 games, I think, or 3 games he played, I would say. But that's it. That's my point. I'm not raising him up. Was he decent? I'm not saying he was bad this tournament. Not at all.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is you turn around at the beginning of the show and you said there's a lot more eyes on him now because of this tournament, because of his performances in the tournament.
Yeah, 100%.
So whether you agree or not, he's still a contender for the team of this tournament.
Let me add context to that. When I say there's more eyes on him, that's because people haven't watched him me included. I've not watched him this closely. A lot of people, minus yourself and Leeds fans, wouldn't have watched him this closely. Back to back. And is he a decent midfielder? 100%. Do I think he's as good as you think he is? No. But do I think he's a competent midfielder? Absolutely, technically sound. But I don't think he's anything special.
But what I'm saying is I don't think he's anything special. You're misunderstanding my praise for Calvin Phillips. What I'm saying is when you look at midfield 2 specifically, the main reason it broke down in the Scotland game, for example, in the games where teams were starting to drift was because it was come to Declan Rice, and until yesterday wasn't doing anything with the ball.
Because we know Rice's deficiencies. We know Rice's deficiencies as well. Well, I said,
whereas the reason I give Phillips so much praise in this tournament is because in times where the game was slow, he would try and quicken the speed up. One touch, bang, straight out, getting it out to the fullbacks, getting it into the feet of Harry Kane, getting in and about it, making tackles, making something happen. And you can't not praise that. Because even for example, when he's having a bad game, he still impacted the game.
I give him credit. I just don't put him in the player of the tournament. But
this is why I'm saying he's the only one, because you've even said it yourself. There's no one else that's left.
No, I said there's very few. That's what we're going through. I mentioned that's Pedri. What I'm saying. Who else? You mentioned Pedri, man of Metri, Højbjerg. I think Pedri was better than him. I do think Pedri was better than him.
But what impact did Pedri have?
Spain got to the semi-finals in a very. They reached the semis in a very poor side. They're a poor side. They're not a good side. And Pedri is in against. They played the Italians. He had a better performance against Italy than Calvin Phillips did.
And why? Because you're talking about context. No, there's a big reason why.
Yeah, because they will dominate the ball. They'll dominate the ball more, 100%.
Exactly.
They will dominate the ball.
But specifically, there's a certain.
Busquets wasn't good that game, though. He gave away the ball for, if I remember correctly, for one. Was it that game? Can't remember.
Yeah, it was that game, but specifically,
gave away the ball.
But what I'm saying is having him there.
It helps.
Literally, it's a free roam for him.
It helps, 100%.
So we can't go in back the game. Calvin Phillips has got Declan Rice, who was non-existent to the final next to him.
That is true, 100%. Like Declan Rice isn't. I don't think he was non-existent, but Declan Rice isn't.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Like in terms of his passing ability,
he's not good.
He wasn't great.
No,
so this is what I'm saying is the levels that you've got next to each other need to be looked at.
Yeah,
and for him to still have standout performances and standout moments.
Like I said, I think it's two worst games against the two best teams they played. It tells you all you need to know. Italy and Germany. The two best teams they played, I don't think Germany were all that against him. He was, again, functional there. Against Italy, I don't even think he was bad. Actually, yeah, he was bad against Italy. I don't think he was bad against Germany.
He was poor against it. He was poor against Italy.
I think he was functional. He was functional, if that's even a word. He was functional against Germany. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. Yeah, he was functional. And that's his level, because there's midfielders on there that are levels above him. Yes, you're playing with Rice. That doesn't help either. But there's still certain things. Again, I'm not saying he was bad. But he was decent.
But at the same time, context is key. Yeah. So yes, there are midfielders at levels above him, but look at the club teams they're at. Look at the players that they're playing with. Look at the experience they've got in these games. This is his first tournament. Genuinely, I think this is his 10th cap for England.
Yeah. And he did well. You know what I'm saying? As a functioning midfielder. And
let's not forget, last year he was playing in the Championship. Yeah. He's now playing the European Cup final.
It's a big step up. Yeah.
So, and for him to even make any form of mark in his tournament, it's a standout for him.
For him, yes. For him solely, Calvin Phillips coming from the Championship, then into the Premier League for the first season.
But what I'm saying is, for him to get any form of praise in any game for England, considering where he was last season to what he's been through this season, come on.
Because I expect you, if you're a functioning midfielder, to have standout performances against the opposition you played, because you're supposed to.
Come on,
against Scotland. So he's not supposed to stand out against Scotland. He's not supposed to. Croatia, Czech Republic, Ukraine. Come on, man. These ain't top teams, and this is my issue with people praising.
And he was good against Ukraine.
Yeah, he was, and I would expect you to be good against Ukraine.
See, but this is
I would expect you to be good against Ukraine.
But this is what I'm saying is you constantly change the bar in terms of expect you to be good against this team, but against this team you weren't good. Like you forget.
No, because that's what I'm talking about. Is when the levels have gone up, you failed. The two worst.
Regardless, what I'm saying is you're talking about but they made it to the quarterfinal. I'm then saying about Ukraine, they made it to the quarterfinal, but you expect them to go against Ukraine. They were playing arguably some of the best football in the tournament.
I just forget the whole best tournament. England should beat Ukraine. England should beat you. Calvin Phillips should play. If he has a bad game against Ukraine, international football is not for you. You are being given the best possible platform to succeed because you're not playing top opposition. Because you're not playing top opposition.
No. How's he getting the best platform to proceed when we've come on here together?
Because I expect Rice to do the same. No, because I expect Rice to do the same.
I'm moaned about the formation and the setup. So how's that the best platform to perform?
Okay, not the best platform. That's the wrong word to use. Again, let me go back to it. You're playing against Ukraine. You're supposed to look good. You're playing against Ukraine. I'm not giving you credit for playing well against Ukraine. It's Ukraine. It's Ukraine.
Forget
it's Ukraine.
No. But you're missing the biggest thing in this.
Go on.
Forget the opposition. Where they are, the level, the game. What it means is a European quarterfinal. This man has never, ever played a European competition.
Yeah,
he's played in European quarterfinal.
I give him credit for that.
European semi-final, played well.
I give him a little bit more. No, a little bit more.
He played in the Championship last year,
and I give him more. I give him again. I'm agreeing with you.
I give him
credit. I give him credit for that. Yes, but again, I'm not putting him in the team of the tournament. When the two best teams you played, you flopped against. You didn't play. That's your two worst games.
Come on.
Not flop, but that's strong. Yeah, I agree. That's strong. I just said that's strong.
He was poor against Italy. Come on,
he was average. That's what I'm saying. He was average against Germany. So the two best teams you played, you haven't been at your optimum best. That's a telling sign to me.
And why is that?
That's a telling sign.
Inexperience. Are we literally going to look over inexperience?
That's adds to it. That adds to it. But Rice balled out, and I don't rate Rice, and he was good.
Rice balled out against who?
Italy. He was good yesterday.
One game in the whole tournament.
Yeah, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying Rice is better than Phillips. What I'm saying is you're capable. If Rice is capable, you're definitely capable. You're capable. You telling me he's not capable of playing better than he did against Italy?
No, I know he is.
That's all I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is,
he's capable of playing better than he was against He was.
I agree.
He was
about
a decent. He's had good games. I think he's had only one bad game. Let me get that clear. He's had one bad game, which was the final. He's had good games, and I think he's been decent overall.
Which to be honest,
I think he's been nothing special.
Considering where he's came from, I'd expect him to have more bad games. Is the point that I'm trying to make.
I wouldn't because of the levels.
No, it's inexperience.
Even the inexperience. Yeah.
Come on. Like, let's think about it for a second.
Go on.
You're what, 7th or 8th or even 9th, 10th cap for England? First ever competition with England, the expectations of the England fans. You've literally came from the Championship last year. You're then thrown in at the deep end into the team. And the one area that's been criticised more than any was the midfield because of how slow it was in terms of the Scotland game, because of Declan Rice specifically.
I don't think he was good against them. I think he could have done more against them. No, he definitely could have done more.
But what I'm saying is,
I'm not saying he was bad. Again, he could have done more against, because he's had good games when Rice has had bad games. So you can't have it both ways.
No, I agree.
You can't have it. So he can play better against Scotland, and that's where I'm critical of him. That's why I'm not put. If he had a good game against Scotland and that happens, it adds more to the debate. It adds more to your argument of what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is who else can go there?
I've said Pedri already. You know right, so I would put Pedri, but if you want, we can do it separate.
Who else?
I'd put Pedri in there. Again, I don't think there's been many standouts in the tournament. I said that from the jump in terms of there's been better teams than individual performances. If Pogba would have went on longer, I would have said Pogba. But yes, I think Pedri's been better because they got to a semi-final and he was their standout midfielder throughout the tournament. Busquets was functional, okay, but they didn't have much. You're talking about Phillips.
Because they have another team that were criminally mismanaged in this tournament.
Yeah, but they just, again, their attack's not good enough. So Pedri, for me, to stand out in that Spanish team is very tough. Because even defensively, they're not the best.
Because you literally made... So you revert it back. You're talking about the Ukraine. You expect to beat Ukraine. You're talking about he's the best of a bad bunch. You expect that.
I didn't know anything about him, so I can't say that, no.
But you get the point I'm trying to make.
I get the point you're making, but I didn't expect Pedri... I'd never heard of him before this tournament.
I did.
I'd never heard of him before this tournament.
Barcelona, and there's a 400 million release clause on him. I expect him to be one of the best players.
I'd never paid attention to him beforehand, didn't it? Because I know Barcelona had fell off, but I seen him I was impressed.
Yeah, but you expect that coming from the Barcelona Youth Academy, and for him to ball out the way he did, there's a reason why they've got a release clause.
If he wasn't in the team, I don't think. Actually, I could be wrong here. People weren't surprised because people were calling for Thiago, myself included. People were expecting Busquets, Thiago, and another.
Yeah, because.
Thiago should have played. Yeah, Thiago. I'm not disagreeing. That's my point.
No, but this is what I'm saying is Spain were criminally mismanaging that. Now, I agree. Pedri does have a shout. However,
who's 18, Bambo?
What?
Who's 18?
Pedri.
It's Pedri, man. We talking about youth, and this man's 18. I didn't know he was 18.
How did you not know he was 18?
Because did I not just say I hadn't watched him before this tournament and that? I didn't know.
Yeah, but even then, I had
no idea he was 18. I just presumed he was 21.
You've watched Spain games.
Yeah, I watched Spain in this tournament. I don't watch. No. I didn't watch the commentary. You gotta understand.
That's all they've ever. Yeah, I know you're doing your watch alongs. But what I'm saying is,
I'm just clarifying to the people when I do watch alongs on Euros. Obviously, it's muted, so information that you lot are getting, I won't hear in it because I have the TV on mute. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, but even then, I'm honest enough to say it's all anyone's thoughts about.
I had no idea he was 18 years old. Right, bro, that's made it even more impressive. I didn't know he was 18.
So boom.
That's very impressive.
Klopp was looking at Pedri 18 months ago. Barcelona and slap a 400 million release clause on him. This kid in a few years will be special. But let's not talk like Calvin Phillips is in 2021.
How old Calvin Phillips? 21.
22.
Okay.
But this is what I'm saying. No, to go from, but this is what I'm saying is look at it.
And I understand the jump that Calvin Phillips has made, and babe, yes, and I do agree, I have been a little harsh on him in regards to the jump.
So I agree. I agree putting Pedri, but what I'm saying is, if you look at the two next to each other, right, the parallels: Barcelona youth playing the Barcelona way, playing with the level of players that Barcelona training with on a daily basis.
I hear that to an extent.
Going from the Championship,
to go up and play
go to the Premier League, to then go straight to European competition,
and then be functional, yes, and have impact on the tournament,
and have standout moments. And that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I get you. Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I was arguing in terms of he's got to be a contender for it, just because of that.
When you put it like that, because I see his performances, even though I agree with the jump, you get me, that I've mismanaged I didn't look at the jump fully in it. I have to respect the jump he's made from playing Championship football 18 months ago.
Look at the jump from the Premier League to the Euros in terms of Declan Rice, and the one big game is the Euro final, which I thought was phenomenal. But look at his other performances in the tournament,
and we know,
and you see the struggle. You see the struggling jumping level.
Yeah.
Whereas Calvin Phillips at times never really looked like out of place. And that's my point.
Just says went from Real Madrid's reject to Barcelona style. Pedri, he's 26. Who's 26? Leon Sniper. Who's 26? Is he 26 or is he 18? I see that I didn't know these things. Like I said, people, I don't, when it comes to football, like outside of the Premier League, I don't care. Yes.
No way Calvin Phillips is 26. If he's 26, I'm astounded.
Nah, no chance. How old is he?
25.
There we go then, innit?
Right.
Fair enough. I thought he was younger. And
thought he was younger.
That adds into the experience thing, innit? But again, that's not a shot. But for me, I'm saying Pedri. I didn't know fact he's 18.
You see, this is what I was saying. I don't.
Hey, we learn new things. We don't know everything. Myself included. People, we're here just shooting.
But what I'm saying is, I don't disagree with Pedri.
Sometimes we do Alvaro Morata on this show.
Can I just say though, one, that was a healthy debate.
Of course, man. Love that.
Secondly, but what I'm saying is, I don't disagree with Pedri. However, I just wanted to I just wanted to highlight the jump from that player specifically. A European final is outstanding, but yeah, I'm not mad with Pedri.
All right, so we got. I forgot what was that. Jorginho Pedri. Right, he's the 10 now.
See, this is the biggest problem. Damsgaard stands out. There's been no standout 10s.
Comments help us out. I agree. I think what's his face was good, but he didn't really play as a 10. He was more. What's the Swedish player called? I thought he was bright.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about. I forgot his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
The one who scored against Czech Republic.
Yes.
I can see it.
He's
number 10 in it. He actually wears number 10.
Yeah.
Does he play for Leipzig?
I'm not sure. Double check that. There was no Yamalenko. Forsberg is his name. That's what Stefan's saying.
Yeah, Forsberg.
I think Forsberg, but I don't know if he played as a 10. I'm saying Yamalenko. Well, Yamalenko, was he a 10?
Wait.
Go on. Who?
Wijnaldum.
Wijnaldum was good. When did Holland go out?
Look at his goal scoring.
He did score goals, yeah.
Is he not second top goal scorer for the tournament?
Yeah, and why you saying isn't Pedri a 10? That's what we're saying. We're saying where did he play specifically in this tournament? And he didn't play as a 10.
No, he didn't play as a 10.
Spain played the 4-3-3.
Yeah. He played a 6 or an 8. No, an 8 or yeah. You know what I mean?
Man is saying Yamalenko, but did Yamalenko? I didn't watch all the Ukraine games. Did they play more as from a wide left position? Like, is that what it is? Like cutting in wide right, sorry.
I'm sold on my decision.
Step right. So you're saying that's Stroll's team, he's got Wijnaldum. You don't need to help me. Me and Stroll gonna do separate.
Because you've got I
wouldn't put Olmo for 10 either. I'm trying to think. Italy.
But Wijnaldum played 10 for Holland and look at the goals he scored.
Yeah, he did. It's just that because he went out early. He did play, don't get me wrong, because someone mentioned Pogba, and Pogba went out, and Pogba only had one, but I thought he was good against Germany.
What I'm saying is
against Hungary,
the amount of goals that he scored.
And even Switzerland, yeah, they did score a lot of goals.
4.
I'm just saying Olmo.
Olmo?
Nah. No.
Oh, Danny Olmo.
No, it wasn't Olmo. No.
No, definitely not.
I'm trying to think.
I'm comfortable with mine.
Yeah, you can go with that. We'll get on to that. All right, left winger.
Sterling.
Yeah, well, Sterling. Open and shut Case Johnson. Right winger.
Chaser.
Seemed to me.
Yeah, but even then, though, he only really started a few games. So it's like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was right wing. Man is saying Yamalenko, but I don't know. Chiesa, nah. I wouldn't put Chiesa there. He just didn't start enough games. I'm not saying Chiesa. This is how bad this tournament was that we struggling. He stood out.
Wait, did Ronaldo not play right mid?
No, he played central. And then they had Jota and Bernardo Silva either side.
Can we not just shoehorn Ronaldo to right mid? So we've got a striker like genuinely.
Right, let's go striker. We'll get back to right wing.
No, because
Doku didn't play enough.
No.
If Doku would have played enough,
because
said.
Coleman
was bright, but again,
I can't pick my striker until I know where Ronaldo's meant to be going.
You can put Ronaldo in yours if
Ronaldo's going right mid to me. No, because he's top goal scorer of the tournament. He has to be in there.
Or did he not score 2 penalties?
What are we honestly coming from United fan? You honestly telling me the penalties don't count?
They count, but I'm saying we're talking tournament football, outside of the penalties.
All right, then take the penalties away against France. See your point?
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah, I get your point. But he wasn't like good. Insigne, no.
What?
I'm not having Insigne.
Definitely.
I said Schick. I thought Schick was good.
See, this is why I'm saying I thought
Schick was bright. This is tough.
Wait, didn't Schick finish as the top goal scorer? Joint top goal scorer.
Where did they end up?
Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Quarterfinals. They got beat by Denmark.
It might have to be Schick as a striker, you know.
Yeah, Schick, and then Cristiano Ronaldo to the right.
Sure, I go Schick. I ain't going Cristiano. I can't go with the Ronaldo one on the right.
How?
I can't do it. What right wingers stood? This is terrible, you know.
Who? There's
Nobody stood out, really. I might put myself there. Jesus. Get me for putting up. Watching this nonsense at times. It was so bad. Oh. People are saying Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko might have been a shout. Because did he not score a couple goals? Ukraine. Double check this because I can't remember. My memory's terrible. Was it Yarmolenko? What was it?
Well, wait, I've got your top goal scorers.
All right, check the top goal scorers. Was it who? That was no people. I'm saying Dumfries, who played wing back, he played him right mid. Chiesa did his thing in the big. What did Chiesa do in the big? He played well against England. He had one other game I can remember. Where else was he playing well? He was bright. It might be Chiesa for me, to be honest.
I can't believe this.
Go on.
There's someone who did play right wing.
Go on.
For Switzerland.
Who? Shaqiri. How many goals did he get?
3. 1 assist in 5 games.
Oh, yeah. Did he not score?
The worldie.
And they needed to get through. Was it out of the groups or something?
So, top goal scorers.
Man is saying Chiesa scored against Spain, against Belgium, Spain as well. Is that Shaqiri, Bambo, or is that? Let me know. Who is that?
What? Who scored against Spain?
Yeah, you're saying there, yeah. Whether it was Chiesa or...
Yeah, Chiesa scored against Spain. However, I swear that was like his first start in the tournament. It's all right. So this is it.
He was their brightest player. So, I've been with Italy. Go on.
Cristiano Ronaldo, top goal scorer.
Okay, go on.
Minutes per game, or minutes per goal, 72 minutes. Schick, 81 minutes, 5 goals, exactly the same. However, Ronaldo got 1 assist as well. I'm just saying. Benzema, 4 goals.
Benzema balled out.
I can't leave him out. In my side, I can't.
Benzema did ball out. In a poor French side, he did ball out.
The goal.
That goal, his first goal against
Switzerland.
Oh, it was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Benzema's going in for me. Sorry, Schick.
Yeah, Benzema's in mine.
Yeah. Hell no way, Chiesa, clear as Shaqiri. Did it in the big games flawless. Bambo, who did it in the big games? You talking about Chiesa?
Yeah, it's not about Chiesa.
All right, that's my front 3 then. I got Sterling, Benzema, Chiesa. I just need a 10. You like help me out. I have no 10. You like help me out. I got 0. I got no 10. I'm tempted just to throw Verratti in there, Bro. No one else stood out.
Ronaldo.
What did we not?
Forsberg got 4 goals.
Forsberg was good because he was their talisman. Where did they get to? Was it the second round?
Yeah. They got not quarterfinals. They got out Wales. Nah, wait, that's Sweden. I'm talking about. Ignore that. Yeah, they got to the second round.
I'm not saying Forsberg. Yeah, I might just. Yeah, Schick's not a 10 though, but it's my team anyway, so it is what it is.
I'll go 4-4-2.
Yeah, I'll just play Schick. Yeah, go back in it.
Go 4-4-2.
Damsgaard he was good in the last stage. I think he was good against England, and obviously he scored the goal as well.
He's technically.
You know what? I'll go Forsberg. I can put Forsberg there. It's my team. So that's my team, people. That is mine. So I've got Pickford in goal.
Yeah, go on.
I got Pickford in goal. Right back, Di Lorenzo. Left back, Luke Shaw. Centre backs with Stones and Nucci. Midfield of Jorginho, Pedri, and Forsberg in the 10. Wide players, Sterling, Chiesa, Benzema. That's my team in the tournament. That is subject to change though, because someone might pop up and I'm like, oh, what about?
Yeah. So mine's Pickford, same back 4, Di Lorenzo, Shaw, Bonucci, Stones, Pedri, Jorginho, Ronaldo in the 10. Ridiculous performances throughout this. Ronaldo to the right. I can't leave him out. It's a top goal scorer. He broke the record in the Euros. Like, how dare you leave him out? Benz up front. I've been calling to get back into that French team for years. And Sterling to the left.
A good team.
They're solid teams.
I complain, but it goes to show how much we struggled, how much there was an individual brilliance in this tournament that we struggled.
Because let's be honest, if we do this next year for the World Cup, come on now, you've got Neymar into the equation. You've got players like that. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
So, but pre-season is back.
Oh, yeah. So we'll touch on this before we close out, people. Make sure whether you're watching this live or watching this back, you hit the like button on the video. Please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share it across all the socials and subscribe to the Pi Radio YouTube. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. This is From a Third Eye View, brought to you by Stro and myself. We're here every Monday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. discussing all things football, normally Premier League, but when it's Euros. Oh, yeah, we need to touch on the Copa America as well, which we will touch on very briefly. And big up to everyone who's tuned in via DAB radio, because you know Pi Radio out here massive, you get me, nationwide. So large up everyone who's locked. Big up everyone who came over from Sarcasm City TV as well. Like much appreciated. Thank you very much. But yeah, where are we going? Copa America, Messi finally wins the international tournament. I watched all the games. I watched all the Brazil games bar one. I watched all the Argentina games. The final wasn't very good. There was I think 68 fouls in 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm over exaggerating, people, but yeah, Messi finally got over the line. The game wasn't good. Go on.
Brazil play?
What do you mean?
In the final, what team? What team started?
I can't even remember the lineup. Check the lineup. I can't remember specifically. He was in goal. Edison was in goal. Marquinhos, Thiago Silva at the back. I think it was Lodi and somebody else is the right back. Fred, Casemiro, and then it was Neymar, Richarlison, Everton, and I can't remember the other one. I'll give you 9 there.
Am I surprised Brazil got beaten? No.
They just got nothing going forward.
Are you surprised?
They have nothing going forward. It's literally Neymar and that's it. Whereas Argentina aren't as good in midfield or defense, but they have X factors going forward. They have Messi, who was, apart from the final, played very well throughout the tournament. Di Maria was a bright spark. Then you have Aguero and Martinez to back that up as well. Go on.
I'm just having a look at the lineups. Right, so here's the big difference, right? Is Martinez in net is a standout goalkeeper. Let's not get that mistaken. He's been a standout this season.
He was quality in the shootout as well in the semi-final versus Colombia. So, quality. Yeah.
Paredes, DePaul. DePaul's just got his move to Atletico Madrid. It's been confirmed today.
He set the goal as well.
Stunning midfielder.
Lodi should have cut it out, I think it was. But
so you've got Martinez, obviously Lautaro Martinez, another standout player. Di Maria, big game experience. There's no one you really want else going into that.
Scored a good goal as well. The lob was quality.
And then Messi, because you know he's got the chip on his shoulder. Do you know what I mean? Now, just you look at that Brazil team, it's just like, it just doesn't feel you. Like, come on, Richarlison. Yeah,
it's up until, like I said, the final third. You got Richarlison, you got Jesus, you got Evan, you got Firmino, you got Mr. He's playing against us. I swear he's playing against us, in the words of Benzema. Vinicius Jr. was there. So it's kind of like, when you got players like that coming off the bench, and I just don't rate him as that. And that's why that's Benzema's fault that I now call him that.
But so, this is my point. If you're Brazil and your team's not great, this is where tactically you need to be astute. Yeah. And you need to put a formation in place that will best suit the players around you. Correct me if I'm wrong, was Richarlison not through the middle?
I'm trying to remember now. Yes, Richarlison was through the middle.
Neymar was in the 10. Side.
Yeah, Neymar was in the 10. So, and I think Everton was the other side. But the manager switched this up during the tournament. At one point in the groups, they played 4-4-2.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, if I'm looking at this, right, and I'm thinking, Neymar's in the number 10. He's going to want someone to hold the ball up so we can run beyond players coming in.
Firmino did come on. He did change it at halftime. Firmino came on.
But what I'm saying is, look at France in the World Cup. Giroud did that. Didn't score a goal, and look at the impact he had on the team. Yes. This is why tactically you need to be astute. Yeah. Forget Firmino for a minute. Player A with those attributes.
100%.
Jesus can hold the ball up better than Richarlison. Why
is he suspended?
Oh, yeah, he got sent off.
Yeah, for the kick.
Yeah, but you get my point, though.
I get your point of what you're saying.
Charging through the middle is ridiculous.
Yeah, the problem he has, and I will defend the Brazilian manager there, it's much of a muchness. What you're saying is not wrong, but he tried all different types of formations.
I'm not surprised because that team's not good.
And it was literally just Neymar. Like he couldn't have done much more in the final.
Can I ask you a serious question? If you had the opportunity now to swap Fabinho for Fred, would you?
Fabinho, absolutely.
Why the hell is he not playing in this Brazil team?
I think this is the manager. This is just me because we've discussed this. He'd rather have, even though Fabinho, he doesn't want the 2 6s. I would play Fabinho and Casemiro and make it work. That's just me, though.
Because defensively, you'd be a lot more solid.
But they are defensively with Marquinhos and Thiago Silva behind me. Very solid.
Yeah, but specifically what I'm saying is with Casemiro and Fabinho in them positions is, do you understand how much ball retention you get and how much you'd be able to sustain attacks?
I agree.
And then this is what I'm saying. This is why you need to be tactically astute.
Yeah.
Alisson Ederson, right, is chalk and cheese. Yeah. It's a preference thing.
And that's not what lost him this game either.
No, exactly. And this is what I'm saying. So for that one, I'm not mad at. I think Ederson's clearly better with the ball at his feet. However, I think the overall better goalkeeper is Alisson, and he's proved that. Now, the back four, Thiago Silva and Marquinhos, you can't argue with. No. They are two solid 100%. Players. The fullback's where it gets a bit...
Again, the fullback's like the forward. There's anyone you look at and you go, there ain't no strength. In depth,
and this is what I'm saying.
There's no strength.
And this is what I'm saying. It's weird when
it's just sad to see.
Because when I think Brazil, I think Dida, Carlos, Cafu.
I forgot his name. Lucio. Yeah.
Juan.
Yeah.
And they were monsters. Then you go Gilberto Silva.
Yep.
Rivaldo.
Yeah.
Ronaldinho. Kaká. Ronaldo.
Yeah. It's sad.
Curtains.
It's sad. It's sad.
Curtains.
When I seen that Brazil team, it's sad.
You've lost the game before you even step foot on the pitch. The second they slap that team sheet down, it's over.
Yeah, you're like, oh, jeez. Yeah.
If England came up against this Brazil team next year, I'm thinking they can be got at.
Of course they can.
And this is my point.
And you don't even have to, minus Neymar, you don't even have to worry about them in a defensive sense.
No, because I know this. I know this from experience. You nail Neymar first 2 minutes with a hard tackle, fair one. He's not involved in that game whatsoever. He wants no part of it. But listen, it's finally the duck off Messi's back. However,
he wasn't good in the final, and again, it's took him 5 tries. And the Copa America is set up for Argentina and Brazil to both get to the final. Because, like I said, I've been following this on Sarcasm City TV.
I'm more impressed with Ronaldo's 2016 Euro win.
Of course, because somebody said this. Argentina was supposed to be competing for Copa America. Portugal, apart from this Euros, are not supposed to be competing for Euros and World Cup.
Especially the one that never should have won that tournament. Never.
When you look at the team they have now, then the team they have then, you're like, I wish Ronaldo was in his prime right now. Rather than 35, 36. Imagine him with Silva and Jota.
35, 36 still top goal scorer.
Oh, yeah, because Cristiano Ronaldo.
This is what I'm saying, it's scary.
But that's what it is. But yeah, man, love to everyone who has locked in. I'll let Stroll see us out because obviously I'm going to go get up and end the broadcast. I hope you like the new surroundings, people, for those watching live on YouTube or watching it back. Big up to everyone. As you can see, the lovely From a Third Eye View sign as well. I'm saying. That's the thumbnail right there. Yeah, big up everyone who was tuned in via more traditional radio means, because I know there's people out there listening via DAB.
Hey, salute to the new listeners that have listened in as well. And
yes, everybody who came over from Sarcasm City TV, get me, family, like you lot really came over. That's why I put it live on the channel, and you lot came over. And I think this is our biggest numbers we've done in a strong minute. I'll let Stroll see us out. But yeah, this has been From a Third Eye View on Pirate Radio. Thank you very much for tuning in.
So once again, salute to everyone that's tuning in every Monday, 7 till 9. For those of you that haven't come over from Sarcasm City, that haven't experienced Sarcasm City, do. It's a phenomenal channel. Go subscribe to that. Go like all the content. It's flawless. It's the likes of, you see JV on there. You see Tox on there. You see a lot of your favorites across the YouTube. The more newcomers, the new gunners in this. So yeah, so to everyone that's tuning in, next week, 7 p.m. till 9, every Monday. Peace.